Okay, I think it's worth. I'll just do a bit of introductions first. If you and the main thing is introducing your character so people know who you are, and also if you just move your icon around on the thing so we know which character, which token you are on here, that we make sure that we've got everyone. So yeah, I'm Anthony. I've been DMing for ages, a couple of groups through to 20th level, and since COVID we've gone online with our main campaign, and I've started off these one-shots to get a bit more games in myself, but also give others who might be not have games either new to it or wanting to try and find games themselves. So I'm getting stuck into these one-shots every now and then. Just gives a bit. I can schedule them a bit around when I'm available because I can't run two campaigns simultaneously. That's really it for me. Federico, do you want to tell us about your character and?
Okay, so apparently I'm an elf.
Ah, yes.
And
you've got the pre-generated character. Sorry, yeah, that's right. I'm just dumping him onto you.
Okay, give me a sec, and then maybe I'll make. Can I go next? Can I go later, and maybe I think of some backstory?
Yeah, sure. It's entirely up to you.
Okay. Can some of the other. Oh, what am I trying to say? Can someone else go first?
Yeah, sure. Okay. We'll go to you, Zach.
Oh yes, my character is a mountain dwarf cleric of the war domain. His god Torm has instinctively told him to come to this tavern to go on another adventure. Is
okay.
Typical dwarf height of 4'8", bit taller than a normal dwarf.
So this is Grindor, right?
Yes, Grindor, yeah. Iron Fist.
Okay. And can people tell what god you worship from your shield or holy symbol or something?
Yes. I actually wear a white gauntlet on one of my armors, so people can tell that it's actually Torm.
Okay. Torm the True, one of the good guys, I believe. At least that's what that's how the story goes. All right. Tina, I helped make you a pre-gen with some bit of a bit of chat throughout the week.
Yep.
Do you want to describe your character or introduce your character?
So my character's name is Trust, and she is a tiefling. This is the first time ever that I've ever played Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm not entirely sure about a lot of things.
No problem.
So she's just a standard tiefling.
Okay.
And I wrote a bit of a backstory for her, where she was kind of like a member of a cult, and was born and raised as a member of a cult, but she was always told that the god that they worshipped was like a really good, nice god. But then she found out later in life that that was the lie, and it was actually some sort of, I don't really know, but like some sort of devil or like evil deity, and then that's why she was born as a tiefling.
Okay.
So she was not pleased to hear about this, and she felt like she'd been lied to her whole life, so she left, and is kind of on a journey to find some sort of truth in her life.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where she is now.
Right. So
and she is a sorcerer as well.
Yeah, so the party would know. We'll assume that you have travelled together and enough to trust one another, and have enough motivation to have each other's backs, so to speak. And so the rest of the group would know that you're a sorcerer, so basically a caster of wizard spells. But rather than learning from books with bat's wings and eyes of Newt and all that palaver, that Harry Potter stuff. You just have an innate ability within you to generate magic, and that comes from not so much the Tiefling and the Tiefling curse type thing. It's more that somewhere back in your line, there's dragon in your ancestry, and so you are a draconic sorcerer, and that manifests in gold scales, which many would mistake as part of your Tiefling skin, but there's these tiny gold scales which have some material benefits. They provide you almost with light armour. Your skin's a lot tougher than regular folk. But other than that, sorcerers are fairly squishy and generally tend to keep out of combat.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And I can help you there with spells and things as we go along. Okay, so Ewan, do you want to kick on?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, my name is Ewan. I've been playing D&D on and off for a few years now.
Yep.
Mostly as a DM because all my friends never wanted to DM.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, eternal DM, sad DM face. But yeah, I'm trying roll 20 for the first time properly. So,
Okay.
And I'm playing Gully, the Hobgoblin Druid. Gully, he's got typical red skin of the Hobgoblin, but he's got strange kind of solid amber eyes. He's wearing this kind of patchwork leather armor with a messy kind of brown robe loosely fitting over it. He's not your usual Hobgoblin. He seems rather calm, approachable. And yeah.
Okay. So we've got the not quite pacifist, but not to pigeonhole you or anything, but the bit of a the hippie pacifist despite the Hobgoblin ancestry.
Well, but he doesn't identify with the general Hobgoblin culture of militaristic hierarchy, and he tried to escape that life.
Okay.
So.
All right. In that case, Federico, does that give you a bit of an idea of what we're meaning? If you want to.
Okay, so from what I decided to improvise a backstory from the stats.
Excellent.
I'm Kiro. He's an archer. He's very skilled at archery. His entire life he trained to become a good fighter, but as a result, he's not very good at social interaction. Let's say.
Yep.
Not because he's like not because he's like an edgelord, let's say. He wants to be sociable, but he's very bad at it. Hence his charisma is bad. He's a medieval version of a nerd, basically.
Right. Okay.
But he happens to be good at killing things. Let's just say that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my character improvised in 2 seconds.
Very good. So what I had on hand was an arcane. Well, intended was an arcane archer or building towards that, but rather than be an elf ranger or scout or something, he's just a straight up fighter, but just very good with a bow as a bow specialist.
Okay, fair enough. This is my 3rd time playing D&D, so I'm still also kind of a noob.
Yep.
So
no worries. That's going to be fine. Okay, so I think.
Make of that what you will.
I think Tree or Tim C we don't have on, and if I look to Discord, it's just us. So I'll just make sure there's no one in Night Assembly. Yep. Okay, yeah, so just checking. All right, so what I'm going to do with Tree is move him out with some other Sarah and Clark, and they can just have chit-chats elsewhere. And all right, in that case, I can probably jump straight into the adventure if you guys are all happy for me to do so, or at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alright.
I think so.
Okay. I don't know. Did you hear tavern music? There was some a while back, but it tends to drift off after
There
a while.
was some. I think it's gone now.
Yeah, it's intended to set the scene and then sort of die off after a little while, so it's not incessantly playing in the background.
All right, sweet.
Yeah. But so I use this tavern as a bit of a launch page for these one shots, but it doubles up as any sort of standard regular tavern. You guys have been travelling together. You've come into the city of Thentia, which is in the Forgotten Realms on the coast, sort of like a Mediterranean city, but it's winter, so rather than being freezing and snow, it's just driving rain incessantly. So a bit grim. And the Harvest Festival was not too long ago, and you know that there's been some pretty serious events go down. There was an attack on the city recently, which you, despite being relatively unexperienced compared to some other adventurers, you're in the right place at the right time and made yourselves known with beating off some goblins that had that were doing this raid. And let me just jump back to my own notes here. Yeah, so and you're now, so you've just been travelling. The work that you've generally been doing hasn't been that great, and not really what you expected for the life of adventurers. Maybe a bit of guard work or escort work, that sort of thing. And you've probably got a bit of money in your pocket. Most of you have probably got about 10. Everyone got sort of 10 gold from the last session that you were doing, so there's about 10 gold in your pocket, and from 100 or so that you divvied up, and you've had a couple of friends sort of drift off and do other things, and there's the 4 of you still left together. You're sitting around in this tavern. It's around midday, so it's just a sort of meet-up point. You're not out getting plastered or anything. Is there anything particular you want to do while you're here? There's a bit of a din. There's a bit of a
General
din.
glance around.
Yeah, okay. Well, looking over your shoulder, you can see there's a group of people, clearly adventurers as well, behind you. And there's a couple of dwarves throwing daggers and hand crossbows. If you look on the board, can you see my ping over here?
Yes.
If I hold shift down, that's
Yeah.
So there's 2 targets painted on boards, and there's 2 dwarves throwing hand axes at it. There's an innkeeper polishing glasses, as they usually do when they're not actually selling stuff, because there's only one guy sitting at the bar who looks like he's been there forever, with just the dregs of a glass in front of him.
Can I talk to the what would I call the
Yep.
the innkeeper, I guess?
Yes.
The shopkeeper.
Did you say call them or head over?
I head over because
Yep.
exercise again.
Yep. No worries. He greets you.
I'm intrigued about this game that the dwarves are playing, and as a fellow dwarf, I'm gonna make my way over there and
Okay.
Ask how to play it.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll just do these 2, and then we'll come back to the table. So, Karal, Sorry, I missed what you said to the barkeep. Were you just asking for something, or?
The conversation,
Yeah. Okay.
just generally, but and I'm probably messing it up. 'Cause
Right.
that's
So
the reason.
what I'll get you to do is just with general chat, bit of gossip. I'll get you to roll a charisma persuasion check. And in case
The persuasion.
yeah, if you're not familiar with how to do that,
Yes, I know how to.
Okay. All right, so even despite your -1, you do your best, like as you were describing your character, do your best and strike up a conversation. And with a 13, that's doing well. Let's see. What you get out of him is just a bit of local news, and he says that not directly, obviously, it's just part of the conversation. Is you hear about someone called the Bandit King outside town, and some people think that he might be responsible for assassinating a high priest in the festival, not that occurred only a short few days ago. You also find out from that discussion that they've found someone else has confessed to the crime, and a fellow high priest. So it's like an inside feud of some sort.
Inside job.
Yeah. But these are all this is the clergy of Tyr, which is the god of justice, and not something that you would expect things to get escalated in such a way as people come to blows in the hierarchy of the church. So that's some news that you get. Unless there's anything particularly that you wanted to divulge, I'll head across to Grindor.
No, I just say goodbye and go back to the table.
Okay, so Grindor, these guys are gambling in a sense by throwing with target practice with these hand axes, and you can essentially join in and bet whatever, they would have a maximum, but you can put a wager on, and whoever they put money on a table, and then whoever gets closest to the bullseye keeps what's on the table.
Could I join in?
Can you roll a persuasion? You're ingratiating yourself into their group and seeing if they'll give you the cold shoulder or whatnot. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
+0. Okay. Yep, I can see one.
Yeah,
I see a 6 there. All right.
That didn't work.
Okay, so they say, newcomers have to watch for a while.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'll make my way back to the table then.
Okay. All right.
I'm like, screw it.
Okay. All right. Screw you guys. I'm out of here. Okay. You can leave them to their game. Gully and your token, Tina. Let's just have a look. I've got to put your. I won't try and make a token on the fly here, but I'll just put your character's name. That's Trust. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Trust.
Okay. TRU. Okay, save. All right. And just to save a bit of real estate on screen, while your full name and the player name is on your in the journal, I'm just cutting it down to the PC name.
For some reason, it wasn't updated on the map.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. So Gully and Trust. So you notice someone come into the inn, and doesn't look like they've come to sit down and have a drink or a meal. That looks like they're looking for someone, and they unroll this piece of paper, look at it, and then scan around the room. They look a little bit puzzled for a time, Let's see. I'm going to use someone here, one of my others. Okay, a young bloke. Comes into the tavern and starts sort of wandering around, not approaching anyone in particular, but sort of eyeing their way through, shouldering their way through the crowd.
Okay. I push up and start moving towards him.
Okay. And what about you, Trust?
I'll go too.
Okay. Yep.
Goody.
So you both head over. And do you want to? Can you? Yeah, you can move your character. Great. Sorry,
kind of approach him.
I had a 4-year-old behind me, sort of crouching on a chair, watching the screen. And,
No worries.
And her mum has just said, "No, you can't watch. Come away." So there's a bit of grumbling in the background.
Oh, I can just do.
Okay.
Oh well.
They've just had it off now. I'll have to update them later. Okay. I can switch on my video again. I didn't want kids all lurking over the top of my shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he looks up and his face lights up a little bit as you approach, and it clearly looks like he's recognising you. And he goes over to you and says, "Oh, Hale, I've been looking for you. I thought there was 4 of you."
That's when Grydor comes up and says, "Greetings, friend."
Oh, and Kiral's back to, oh, right. He goes, oh, okay, you're just not together just now, right. He says,
How can I help you?
I serve Sir Issen, Paladin of Tyr, and he knows of your exploits in the recent weeks and the troubles that have been had, and he is seeking audience with you if you would accompany me to his humble cottage by in the city. There's it's I can't tell you much. That you'll need to speak with him, but it's a possibility of some similar work, similar to what you're clearly so good at.
What was your name again?
Let me just see. Whoops. There we go. Oh no, hang on. Show name plate. There we go. My name's Elton Gear, Squire to Sir Issen.
Izzo, you say?
Issen, no, Paladin of Tyr.
Issen.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
He's a rider of Thentia, and I think most of you would know of the riders of Thentia. They're sort of a noble elite cavalry, and have fighters, rangers, paladins, and others amongst their group. He says, "So what say you? Will you accompany me?" Bear in mind,
I don't know if I trust you.
Well, it's daylight. We're in a city. I don't think there's any risk at this point.
Can I ask a quick setting question?
Yeah.
So, obviously, you say there was an attack, let's say, recently. So I kind of met this party kind of as part of that, did I? Or
yes, yeah. So
yeah, okay. So we're on like good terms at the moment.
Yeah. So everyone in the party is well acquainted with each other, and the recent adventure that you did, apart from just joining in the throwing back the goblins that attacked the city, well, it was more of a raid, but was you assisted in defeating a were-rat and a gang of rogues in the city that were up to no good.
Okay.
Trust.
Thank you.
Trust, could you roll? I know you're skeptical of Elton Gia, and it's possible with your intuition that you might be able to, see if your spider senses are tingling and you don't trust them, or if you get a sense, or if you can see through their facade if they are trying to deceive you. I'll get you to roll a, let's see, a charisma check.
Right. How do I do?
Yeah. So when you go to your character sheet, can you open up your character sheet? Is that in your journal?
Yeah, I've got my character sheet. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to open it up as well.
So my charisma +3.
Character sheet. Yeah. So I think what you can do is just click on where that 17 is. Oh no, yeah, it's sorry, it's not. I'm just checking. Hang on.
It's in the name.
Yeah,
Click on charisma.
it's the actual word that you're looking for. It's a hot link. Great. Oh, you got it. Okay, so adjusted. It looks like that's a 14. And so
It's double roll.
Oh, that's a roll with advantage. Okay, right. So you've got a 13 there. So from that, you think that this guy is genuine, that he's genuinely... He's not trying to be deceitful in any way, and that you think that he probably is a squire of this knight, and is not really holding information back.
Okay.
Can I do a religion check on the god that he's supposedly serving?
Yeah, sure. You can just roll the religion. Holy mop! Natural 20. What were you wanting to?
Yeah.
What were you wanting to find out from that?
But basically, I wanted to know if the god he is serving is basically trustworthy enough for us to endeavour on this.
So Tia is the god of justice, and so often people in the legal profession, or sheriffs and marshals, anyone who is specifically about enforcing the law. So probably on the 100% on the lawful side, and they're generally tending towards good as their motivation for why they're looking for law, as opposed to slavery or some other the bad side of fascism or some other extreme lawful acts. So they're the epitome of the knightly just, the good Judge Dreads. The militant wing is much more about seeking and bringing people to justice, as opposed to creating laws and enforcing enforcing them. You think that his symbol is genuine. It's not like he's sort of faked it. And you know that the triumvirate of Tia and Ilmater are also very closely linked. Ilmater being the god of endurance, sometimes described as the god of suffering, but generally about suffering through for others, and also a benevolent deity. The god that the recently slain high priest was a priestess of Tia, and the person who has said that they are guilty has admitted guilt is a priest of Ilmater.
So I'll, with that information I gathered from his symbol and stuff, I'll go. I think we can trust this this person
Okay.
for now,
Right.
at least.
Yeah. Okay. He says it's only a few blocks away. I think we should go now before it starts to get too late in the day.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We can fast travel. You basically walk through the town. Things are still busy. It's still a busy city, but you've all got wet weather cloaks like oilskins, and you need to pull your hoods up to stave off the rain. It does break sometimes, and then you get that fresh air that comes straight after rain, but then another front comes through. So it's almost these continually waves of fronts crashing off the sea through the city. And after a time you get to a smallish cottage. It's well tended, well maintained, nothing too elaborate, but comfortable, and has a small garden. And you're invited inside. Issen takes his cloak off and hangs it on a hook and gestures for you to all do the same.
Sorry, one more.
Yep. All right. We got the front door action.
I do apologise, it's a delivery. My bad.
Oh, right. I thought you were buying some books from. Okay. Yeah.
It was a part of my partner order.
Yeah. Right. Cool. Well, you can't let that get away. Okay. So the man before you looks too weary for his age. Fairly handsome, but with sunken eyes. So it clearly seems he's not been sleeping that well. He says, I thank you for answering my call. I'm Issen Shadowcloak, Paladin of Tyr, rider of Thentia, which I no doubt you, Alton has mentioned. No doubt you've heard of the murder of Ciri Moonglaim.
I have.
Yeah,
I heard it was some.
You have, yeah. So, and the subsequent confession of the priestess of Ilmater.
I heard a rumor it was some thing called the Bandit.
Yeah, well, that I believe that is more of a of more than a rumor. He admits that he has a stake in this. The priestess of Ilmater is a long-time friend and companion of mine, and I can't believe that she would have committed this act.
Then why would she admit to doing it?
She's a priestess of Ilmater. Pain and endurance and suffering, and these priests of Ilmater tend to take more on than they deserve. He has no idea why.
That's awful.
But he doesn't believe that she has committed this act. I believe, although clearly I am biased, and I freely admit that, I believe that she's innocent, and I suspect I know who the real culprit is. We riders, with the help of the Temple of Saloon, who is the moon goddess, we've been hunting a man we know as the Bandit King, almost for 6 months now. And the descriptions of this bandit, who is a master of disguise and illusion, I think that it would be very easy for an illusionist to somehow masquerade as my friend Neste. And I suspect probably witnesses have somehow confused the two. It baffles me of why she would confess. And what I'm looking to do is track down this Bandit King and determine the truth of things, because I don't want to see an innocent person hanged.
As a follower of Torm, I follow the truth wherever it leads. I will be one to help you out on this venture.
Yes, I too. I'm a seeker of truth, so we'll join you on this adventure.
Fantastic.
This is good.
Agreed.
Men.
I'm not without.
As long as you're willing to,
Sorry, Federico, I missed that.
as long as you're willing to pay me, I'm gonna. I'm complaints
yes.
with bringing this bandit king to justice.
Well, although I don't receive paladins of Tyr are not well compensated for their acts. We're supposed to do it for out of our benevolence, but I do have some funds available, and I'll be able to give you a sack of gold at the end of this as a reward, as you request.
Okay then. So as can I? Okay then. I'm all for it.
All right, I think we're all high-fiving now. So he says, right, and he sort of gets straight to business, leans forward around the coffee table, puts his elbows on his shoulders, and says, right, now I believe that the Bandit King occupies a ruined castle a day's travel from here. There is a ruin in the middle of a wood, and it's been a ruin for hundreds of years. We have attempted raids in the past and always found it completely empty when we arrive. So I don't want to send another large force, because if it's just a small band of his, they must be able to fade in and out of the trees easily. He thinks there is a motive for the Bandit King for killing the High Priestess, was to remove pressure from himself. He's looking to possibly take control of the city, and the High Priestesses of the High Priestess of Ilmater was something of a thorn in his side to achieving that goal somehow. I have no idea why my partner would turn herself in this way, but he suspects blackmail, so she may be sacrificing herself for another. But he sort of shakes his head and says, their actions have never made quite sense to me. I just attribute this to our differing faiths. The witnesses who say that they have seen what's happened are mostly goblins and hobgoblins, and so
You see, go and take a sharp and take a breath.
Yes. So he says normally I would say that they are the most unreliable of witnesses, and they were part of the raid when the assassination happened. But he's going to come with you, but he's not going to bring anyone else. And he suggests that we head straight off into the woods. No mucking around with this guy.
Is there any way that we can talk to the priestess? Is she like in jail or something?
Yes, there there may be a way. Are there any nobles or criminals in the party? I'm just looking at backgrounds. You don't have to look at your actual background, but otherwise, you might be able to. He says he is unable to visit Neste, and you get a sense that he's not really that interested in doing so, but he's willing to wait if you want to visit the jails and see if you can get an audience.
I don't think someone of my kind will get anywhere near, I'm afraid.
Yeah, see, he says, I think that Nestor is Neste. You're probably not going to get anything out of her. I think she's going to be unresponsive to any questioning. Well, she was for me in any case.
All right, then I guess it's to the forest.
But there may be others you can question, in the area where it all happened, or gathering other information beyond what this paladin's saying.
I think we should gather a little bit more evidence before we convict anyone further.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say worst case scenario, we take down the bandit king, and like you say, if he wasn't the culprit, then oh well, he's still a criminal. So we can maybe make some. We could still hand him over to the law enforcers and maybe make some money from that. And
Yep.
Yeah, you got a good point. Still a criminal at the end of the day.
Yeah. The question is, can we take him on just by ourselves?
I don't know about that, but maybe we can. I don't know much.
He says that he's sure there must be just a bunch of cutthroats, goblins, and at worst hobgoblins. But if there was a bigger...
hobgoblins can be nasty.
You're looking side on at what, Ewan? Okay. Right, so he says, well, why don't you go to the area of town where it all happened and question people. We'll sleep on it and head out first thing in the day, because it is quite a hike into the woods to get to the ruins.
Yeah.
Good. I, for one, are quite excited for a walk in the woods.
Okay, I think Corrals that will be in his element in the woods. A high elf, I believe, or high elf, high elf archer, stealth, no armor, perfectly suited to it. Okay, so what I'll do is there's sort of maybe four main topics that you could sort of investigate about and ask questions about. So what I could do is maybe if you each sort of pick something and do there's the Bandit King, there's Nestor himself, herself, and the castle ruins. I don't know unless there's any other specific topics that you're looking for.
Gull would maybe inquire as to what the local fauna is like, if there's any dangerous creatures or anything like that, in the general kind of wild surroundings, just extra threats we need to be knowing of.
Okay, so all right. So I'll get you one at a time to roll a. You can either roll investigation, which is an intelligence check, or a persuasion if you're more trying to just coax information out of people. So you can try to be a sleuth or be a party animal and charisma your way through it.
Well, Goblin doesn't really see himself as a hobgoblin, so he'd probably go up to people just try to chit chat.
Okay. So what you could do is if you want to move around as a group, and then let whoever do the talking, who you want to be the sort of party spokesperson, probably whoever's got the highest charisma or has proficiency and bonuses in persuasion, unless you've got an investigator. I don't think there's an intelligence-based person in the party, from what I can gather. No disrespect.
This is my new stuff.
I have intelligence, but I don't like talking to people.
Yeah.
Please, no, I don't want to talk. I just want to hide in the corner.
Yeah, who's the sharpest?
Wisdom's more my thing.
Okay. All right, so I think wisdom's going to come in with deciding what you do with the information you find. So this might fall to, if you're just, I'm trying to sort of help guide you, at least for the people who are new to D&D. So I think, Trust, you're probably the one with the highest charisma here. And you've got, I'm eyeballing your character sheet here, and I can see you've got proficiency in persuasion, which gives you a +5. So if you sort of were the one that does the talking, and hence the dice rolling, you can go with the party, and if they assist you as a group, that gives you advantage, because they might actually, if you start to get off track, run interference. If you miss a clue that they get, then they might jump in and help with a guiding question or something. So.
Plus, having a cleric on hand, I can get you to roll a d4 as well with any ability checks.
Okay. Yeah. The what I do with guidance, that particularly with social interactions, is while there is an ability check, you can't really tell when the check is happening, when it's just a conversation. And guidance is normally you cast it, and I think for the next round you get to get your D4. So unless there's some specific event, like you're trying to jump across a ravine, so you cast it just before someone jumps across, but when it's just when it's just
it's there.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's just say it's just there.
All right. So what I'll do is let's see. Yeah, Trust. If you could roll a persuasion check, and what I'll do.
Do I click charisma or persuasion?
You click persuasion in this case, because then you get your proficiency bonus as well as your charisma one.
Okay. Do that then.
Oh. So you rolled a 3 and a 5. Okay, so I'm scrolling through. This is about gathering information about Nestor, and no one really has information, or you don't get anything about Nestor. This is the one, the Ilmater priestess. I'll get you to do another one about the one that I think Gully brought up about troubles in the forest and things that go bump in the night.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. We've got a 22. Okay. So
Nice.
people have a lot more to say about the woods around, and in particular about the medicine that is harvested from the forests nearby, the area that you're going. There's a group called the Mediciners Guild, and this guild is granted exclusive rights to sell medical goods all through the city. If you go trying to sell healing potions or something like that, and you're not a member of this guild, they will come down on you hard, chase you out of the city, you'll get thrown in jail. It's against the law. They've got the rights to sell medicines. They're big pharma of the city. Yeah. and they've been struggling to meet demand. And the reason why this is such a problem is because people then go out and foraging or finding their own or making their own, and they're not allowed to. It's being more difficult with the rains and making medicine hard to come by, and the herb gatherers often go out only to find herb bushes picked clean. And someone even reveals that one clue is that a herb gatherer found a odd-shaped black cap on one of the bushes last time that they went out collecting herbs.
Do you think this skill could be involved in the murder?
There's nothing to suggest that that's the case, and nothing to link them. Gully, you would recognise this black cap and the way it's described as being something that is common apparel for goblins.
All right. Okay.
Trust. I'll get you to do one more when you're asking about the Bandit King. I'm just conscious of time too, so we'll jump into the forest shortly. Oh, another big one. What's that?
Nat 20.
Natural 20.
God.
All right. So now you know everything there is to know about the Bandit King. With the ports inoperable and the fields awash with rain, the city's been trying to import food, and the Bandit King continually raids the route from Melvourne, which is a nearby city that can feed the city in times when the ports are having troubles. Numerous attempts to capture the Bandit King have all ended in failure, and some commoners suspect that the Bandit King does not actually exist. It is a scapegoat created by those in charge of the city who are unable to feed their citizens, and they're blaming some mythical bandit and hoarding any surplus for themselves. Again, these are all rumours that you hear. It doesn't necessarily mean any of those are true, but you get a lot of... everyone's got something to say. One more before we head out, and that's asking about this castle and the location.
Okay.
$17. Okay. So asking around, not necessarily even in the... You might go back to your tavern or whatnot, but you must ask quite a few of the right people, old timers and such. The castle was supposedly destroyed somewhere around the time of Troubles, which was many years ago, and no one seems to agree on the exact details of how it was destroyed. It has gained a reputation of being haunted, with reports of eerie lights coming out of it. There's very little that remains, and some of the commoners have it on good word that it's currently in use, possibly that there's been stone and lumber being brought to this ruin. But that pretty much exhausts your investigations. And you spend the bulk of the afternoon tracking down that information.
Okay.
That odd-shaped black villager mentioned. Seems kind of like something goblins kind of wear. You think they're hoarding the medicinal herbs and whatnot?
That's to everyone else, I expect, to the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said they're working in hand with the Bandit King, right? These goblins.
That's what the Sir Issen believes. That there was some If the he made the link because he said the goblins attacked and raided the city the same night that this priestess was murdered, and so he thinks the two are connected. That if the Bandit King is behind it, maybe he murdered the priestess and had his goblins do the work.
Well,
Interesting.
I guess you guys are all sitting around the bar stool here, back in your tavern. It'll be a night's rest, so you'll need to pay for food and lodgings for the night, which means crossing off 1 gold piece.
1 gold piece.
Yeah. You should see that on your inventory in your character sheet or in your D&D Beyond if you're using that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using both.
Okay. If anyone can't get to it, let me know and I can help you guide you to it.
Whereabouts?
So if you click on your character sheet and down the bottom of it, in the middle, is equipment, and there's these actual pictures of copper, silver, electrum, gold, and platinum.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I think there's a.
From what I can see on your character sheet, there's 15 gold there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So if you just adjust that to 14, then that's how you just mark it up there.
Okay.
Anything else in particular you want to do, or are you just having a good night's sleep and heading out to the cottage?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's turn it.
All right. There's no untoward, things happen in the evening. You generally have a good night's sleep, and get up, get ready, and head out with Sir Issen. So I'm just going to bundle everyone up together here for a bit of a teleport. I'll get Sir Issen in there. Well, bear with me for a sec. Oh, you should also. I guess I don't know. I don't think anyone has to pick spells, or this is an opportunity if you wanted to change spells for the cleric and druid, I believe. Given that
I'll have a quick look at my spells.
Yeah, given that you're now going, I know you're going into a forest.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to prepare a spell?
No, you don't. You just for sorcerers, they don't need to prepare any spells. They don't have as long a list, but the good thing is that you can just have slots. So your spell list that you'll see, it's a shorter list, but everything in there you can just cast, and you just cross off the spell slots as you go along.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Tracks. Okay, I'm switching everyone over now. Can you see yourselves in the new setting?
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. All right, so what I'll get you to do is just arrange yourself into whatever marching order that you're going to do, and then I can that'll make it. We'll just carry that forward from whatever's going on. Yep. So the archer up the front.
I have the higher armor class. Just
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Then you go in the front, and I go back.
Okay.
yeah. I'll yeah.
Okay.
Just like that.
All right. So Grindel's stomping down the road, flanked by Corral and Issen. I'll just put his name in so that we can see. I'll turn that music down a bit too. It's a bit. There we go. Where are we? Issen. Better. Yeah, so there, the Archer and Sir Issen are behind you. Got Trust ducked in at the back there, and Gully just off to one side. Okay.
Yeah, Gully's just kind of walking on the grass specifically. He's staying off the actual beaten road.
Yeah. Are you taking your sandals off?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Nice, wet, mossy grass to walk on. Perfect for a druid.
Gully's loving it.
All right. you trek through the forest. There are plenty of animals out, although the land is wet and muddy, quite cool. There's a light rain falling, so you have this ever-present murmur. And a lot of the roads are washed out, so while what you see is cobblestones, it's quite muddy. You head out for quite a few hours out of town, and you're following guide markers placed by the riders. Despite being a rider himself, Issen travels on foot. Riders are only supposed to use their mounts for official business. Otherwise, it'd be like jumping in a police car and going off to a car rally or something. And he doesn't want to draw, attention by going as an official business. You round a small rise and come across a fairly odd sight. Moving amongst the bushes ahead of you, there's a number of green-skinned creatures with little black caps, and they seem to be getting directed by a stooped, caped figure dressed in robes and a simple shawl, and they're sort of bending over, plucking stuff up off the ground.
What they are, the little skinned individuals.
Yeah. You would recognise them as goblins, at least a Gully would. Oh, actually, you all would, because you saw goblins in the raid on the town. They don't look like they've got, they're not acting like a war party or anything like that. But
what about this robed figure? Can I make out from the distance that we are any detail?
Looks human-sized, but like a little old lady or a little old man sort of thing.
Right. Have they noticed us coming up the road?
No, they haven't noticed you just yet.
Can we hear any sort of conversation or thing that's being said?
Not at this distance. But observing them just for a few moments, it looks like they're foraging.
Can I sneak near them and try to get a look?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
He's also going to kind of off to the side of the road, kind of attempt to stealth in the bushes. He's not going to approach, but he's going to try to attempt to stealth.
Okay. All right. Gully, can you do a stealth check for me, just to dash off under a tree or something?
May I also do a stealth check?
Hang on, I'll just get Gully's stealth check first. Okay, so you sort of dash off and find yourself some cover somewhere. Sir Issen sort of just crouches down behind his shield, as if he's just ready to dash off, but otherwise just, drops, not prone, but and gestures for you all to do the same, suggesting you all to do the same. But Kiral, I think you're stealthing ahead to have a bit of a gander. Okay. 8 plus 3 and 2 plus 3. All right. You guys are just masters. All right. Which side of your road are you going on, Kiral? I'll let you move your character sheet.
Yeah, more or less there. Yeah. Where is the masked figure, more or less?
Oh, the cloaked figure. I'll put them on.
Copy. Otherwise, they're masked.
No, don't get. I'll find her. There we go. Just over here. I'll put a Kenku figure on, but there's no beak. It's not a Kenku. It's just I found a figure with a robe, and it's human sized.
So I go around here and hide myself and try to take a look at the goblins. And try to see how many of them there are.
Okay, you haven't noticed them, but you count 10. And they're clearly, if you zoom in, you'll see, but there's lots of little, almost luminescent flowers that they're picking the buds from the bushes.
Do I know what flowers they are?
If you can roll a nature check for me.
Yes. Nature.
Okay, you don't remember the name, but you do recognise them, that they are herbs used for medicine of some sort. You don't know what.
Interesting. Okay, so I head back and I tell everybody there are a lot of goblins. We'll probably get killed if we take them on, and they are gathering some sort of a type of flowers that are used for medicine.
So they are hoarding them. The herbs.
Should we put a stop to this? I can more than comfortably handle myself, but can you guys?
Personally, I'm not overly fond of goblins, as ironic as that may sound. Keen.
Well,
Is there, so, as a plan, can we get Gully to pretend to be one of them?
That sounds interesting. Could give it a shot, I suppose.
The goblins are size small and he's size medium, so he can't pass off as a goblin.
You just colours the wrong pigment.
Yeah, he would try to play the hobgoblin card.
Yeah.
I'm bigger.
Right.
Are you doing fellow goblins?
Yeah.
Okay.
The authority figure hard.
Okay, so just a question about just like the lore and stuff. So hobgoblins and goblins are clearly different. Are they related in any way?
No, they're another race entirely. So they fit into the humanoid category, which is basically most things that are, arms and legs and relatively human-sized. But otherwise, but they're an intelligent race with a language, a culture. They generally they don't have cities as such. Generally live in the natural world.
Could we maybe try to set up some sort of distraction to maybe get a couple of them and try to get information out of them? Like this. That's too late. So instead of taking 10 of them at the same time, we try to take a couple of them one by one and maybe try to get some information.
Divide and conquer. Yeah. Sounds like a good tactic.
You could probably make a distraction somewhere over, here. There's some humongous mushrooms over here, some green ones. And try to see if any come to investigate and single them out. And as a distraction by, throwing a rock or going over there yourself and attacking from that direction, or what do you mean?
Let's try to. I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead in this plan. I don't know. Anyone that has any ideas?
You could look to your spell lists. Might be things on your, particularly if you've got a sheet that's created by me. I don't know what I've chucked in there, but. Oh yeah, trust. Just.
I could cast illusion.
Yeah, you've got minor illusions, so that's quite flexible. Rather than most spells where create a sound or an image of an object within range. It's only 30-foot range. So it's
how far away are we from the goblins?
Yeah, so if you look on here, there is a circle with a dash through it on the icons on the top right. Yeah, so there's a way that you can click on that and then measure. So 30 foot.
So 30 foot. That's not far enough.
Yeah, so, but the thing is...
So can I move forward and cast a spell?
Oh, yeah, so if I measure from you 30 foot, you could have a sound appear over there somewhere, or, thereabouts. Yeah. If you, let's see, if I, put you, if you move to, say, over here, or just get on this side of the road, you could probably make the sound. 6 squares is 1 square is 5 foot that's on there.
We could potentially set an ambush in the brush over yonder. How do I pin the map?
Oh, you just, when you've got the select move, the arrow key, if you hold your left mouse button down, it'll ping with the colour associated with you. So see, I'm sort of lavender, so I got a lavender ping and a lavender line.
Oh. No. Well, yeah, Gully kind of indicates over to this area. Like, it'd be a good spot to ambush.
Okay, so if everybody else hide in the trees,
okay,
I can cast minor illusion, draw them out.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll have to do a party stealth check, and the way party checks work is rather than everyone rolling, because likely someone will fail, no doubt. What can happen is the way the party checks work is the majority of you need to pass, and that way people who are really good are saying, hang on, don't step on that stick, and helping the people who would otherwise have failed. So I'll get everyone to roll a stealth, and I think if you're in metal armour you get disadvantage for you stomping dwarves out there.
Yes.
All right, so...
Okay, 15.
Yep. All right, we've already got 3 passes, so Grindor, no matter what...
Got 14 on my stealth anyway.
Yeah.
At disadvantage.
Okay. So you 4 ninjas all sort of head over in this direction. Even though Sir Issen is clunking his way through bushes, you're holding them aside for him and brushing leaves away as you go.
With the faintest clink of armour. Yeah, clink.
Yeah, exactly.
Clink.
And so, Trust, you're now...
Stealthily.
You would actually be able to make a sound with your illusion within 15 feet of one of these goblins. So something that they could easily hear, but maybe the other ones wouldn't.
Okay, great. Does anybody have any suggestion? What kind of sound draw them out?
Perhaps. Would Gull have any knowledge of maybe small animals that a goblin could not resist to see if they could grab as a snack?
Yep, squirrel on a stick is their favourite.
Okay. Perhaps the sound of a squirrel quietly making its way towards us.
Alright, okay, that sounds good. How do I cast the spell?
Sounds working. Yeah. So what you do is, it doesn't actually matter too much for this particular one, but if you go into your character sheet again, that's it, Trust, and in your character sheet you can see there's a red core. Yeah, switch across to spells, and
Yep, spells.
I think you just cast. Where is it? I think you click on one of them. Yeah, that's it. So you click on on the title. So you've got it expanded to see the full description, but the title of them, if you look at Thaumaturgy, Firebolt, Mage Hand, and all that. Oh, I didn't know that you had Mage Hand. That's pretty good too. How's it looking? There we go. All right. So normally, if this was say Firebolt with damage, it would also automatically roll the damage. But in this case, because it's more a descriptive type of spell, you just see the full description there. All right, so you get your little bit of fleece out and you wave your hands around because it's got somatic components. And it's quiet otherwise. And this sort of squirrel sound appears over here. And you see 2 goblin ears pick up, and they sort of walk over and they start turning over logs and rummaging around in leaves and wandering around here. Now they're actually only 20 foot away from you, but it looks like they haven't seen you, so you've all successfully stealthed from these 2. You could either launch your attack from here or try to maybe do another sound and see if you draw them closer. Depends on how close you want to be before you do the rah. Any thoughts? Trust. Otherwise, you could just go attack and just fling a firebolt at this point.
Yeah, we have... Sorry, what's the elf's name?
Kiral.
I feel like it would be stealthier to shoot them with arrows.
Yeah.
Rather than like a massive fireball.
Yeah. Oh, firebolt. I was just checking your spells, and let's see. It might be worth. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong one. Where are you? Spells.
Firebolt.
Firebolt is like a little. Well, it's not necessarily little. But it does have light associated with it. colour spray is another one, which obviously it's a huge, bright, dazzling light and blinds people that see it. So you might want to save that until there's more people that could be in the area. But
I've got a light crossbow.
Yep.
I like the plan of the pick them off one by one.
Yep. Okay. So let's go to initiative. What I'll do is I've opened the turn order. The way you do that is you click on your icon on the screen, and then go to your character sheet and click on initiative. And it should add you into the initiative turn order.
Sorry, where was that?
So you have to select your round icon on the actual map.
Yeah.
And when it's highlighted, you go to your character sheet. And
Don't pay attention to mine because I didn't have mine selected. Initiative.
So what I'll do is I'll just keep on. You can just try until you can add it in yourself and then get it successfully done. So trust. If you've got your character sheet open, you can see initiative.
Yeah, I think I just did it.
Yep. Hey, good. Everyone's in there. All right. And
I can't see me up in there.
Where are we? 1, 2. Oh yeah. Who's that? Gully.
Yeah. Click on your icon.
Yeah, so what happens is if you haven't clicked on your icon and highlighted it, it won't automatically. Just try it. I'm okay to keep the 20. Yeah, so that's...
All right, okay.
If you highlight your icon before you do it,
it
automatically puts it in. Okay. Oh, I'll just have to roll myself. Let's see. Dice roller. D20.
Take the new one. Oh, forget the 20.
Okay. 7. And I better add Sir Isin in there. Add turn.
I'm a helpful cleric.
Oh my God, Sir Isin 2.
Oh.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. So Kiral, looks like you're going first now in any case, and you've easily got a bead on these goblins. You can shoot your arrow. You're on draw right now, rather than.
Okay, so can I go near the mushrooms and shoot from there?
Oh, you can shoot from even where you can move. You're shooting from stealth at the moment, so you would have advantage. So if you get up and move, they might then spot you, and you would lose your advantage because they would see the arrow coming.
Okay, then never mind. I'm gonna shoot from here.
Yep.
And attack this goblin, I guess. It won't work really good.
And do you know how? Do you need me to?
Yes.
Open your character sheet.
I select the longbow.
Yeah, and you just click on the longbow, and it should just automatically shoot away. Great. 20 plus 2. Is that a crit? It looks like it. No. Okay.
No, it's 15 he rolled.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Hovering over it. So 15 plus 3 plus 2. Cool. All right. So you've hit.
I keep the goblin, so I select one. So I roll damage.
Yeah, you can roll the damage. Oh, you got it on there already. So it's 6 piercing.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay. So the goblin that you just hit. Whoop, cries out in pain, but he doesn't drop from the arrow. You can see a little health bar above him, and he's extremely injured. You almost take him out with one shot, If you wanted to move now, you can, because you can attack and then move, or move and then attack. In fact, you can move up to 6 squares if you want to start hopping it. When you shoot from stealth,
I stay around. I move a bit closer
to trust.
closer in the forest, but I stay hidden.
Okay, all right. When you make a shot from stealth, it gives away your location, so you're no longer stealth, although you might still be obscured by the foliage somewhat. And I'm going to move you on.
Okay. So never mind. I'm gonna go still in the forest, but closer to the mountain, like here.
Okay.
So that way next turn, they think I am there, but I actually move.
Okay. All right. So you duck in behind that big mushroom thing there.
Yes.
Trust.
Goblins know where I am.
Trust. It's your up.
Okay.
If your offensive range spell, I believe, is not to like lead you along or anything, but is fire bolt. And that's got a range of 120 feet, probably longer than this map.
Wow.
So you just need to decide first who your target is, if that's what you're going to do. Yeah, that's right. It's a massive range. And it does D10, so basically as much as a great axe.
Okay.
Great axe is a 1d12.
Ah, true. Yeah. Almost. I like to think it's.
Almost.
Do you want to go for the one that's at full health, or the one that's been hit by the by Corral's arrow?
How much health would I be able to one-shot the guy?
It's
who has full
possible.
health?
Looking at what one arrow did, but it's hard to say for sure.
Okay, I'll go for the guy with the health.
With the health. Okay, so just do your.
With the health.
Yeah. Okay. Roll to hit.
Which is
Yeah. So all you do is click on the spell, just like you did. Yeah, you did.
do I need to roll for damage?
Yes, you hit with a 19, so you can roll the damage.
Okay. Where is that?
Okay.
Click on firebolt.
Again?
Click on firebolt, where it says.
As in the description of it. And you should be able to see the damage roll.
I can't see that myself even.
Yeah, I just can click on the name of the spell, but
Yeah.
If that's the case, go to your sidebar on the left-hand side. You should be able to see a dice-shaped
oh yeah, I see
symbol,
that.
and just select that and click D10, just the D10 itself.
Okay.
Okay.
5.
Great. All right. So you do 5 damage to him, and that leaves him in a similar state to the guy that got shot by an arrow. So they're now both badly injured. Gully. Oh, did you want to move?
I'll look back, maybe near Gully. Here.
Okay. Gully.
Alright, so, which goblin was it that was getting hit?
Both of them have been hit now.
Okay. Right, so this one within 30 feet of me. I'll look at Trust and go, that looks mighty fun, and I'll produce flame, and I'll throw the flame from that at this goblin.
Okay, that's
Can you see the one I'm measuring to?
Yeah, I can. Go for it.
So that is a ranged spell attack. So, right, okay, it's like the input value to roll it with a cantrip. So do you just press 0? Or
So for your produce flame,
okay, yeah.
yeah, you just click on the produce flame title in your
Yeah, it's coming up with cast at what level, and then it says cantrip, and then I have to submit a number.
Oh, I see. Right.
0 is cantrips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I presumed it would be 0, I just wasn't sure. Okay.
How are we doing?
Okay.
A flickering flame. The flame sheds light. You can also attack with the flame.
It's just do full 20 and then add just to expedite things.
Okay.
So 3 plus whatever my range,
okay.
probably not going to hit.
So this gully conjures a
3 plus 4.
like a snowball, but made of fire. Rolls it in his hands and then throws it at the goblin, and the goblin, smarting from this firebolt that just hit him in the head, ducks out of the way of it. Did you want to move or anything?
I'll hold my ground.
Okay. Grindor.
Okay. I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on that one.
Okay. He gets a saving throw, I believe.
A Wisdom 12.
Okay, he fails that. So Grindor gets out a little bell and calls out, "Your time has come, bong!" And this guy takes necrotic damage. And
9 damage.
yes, and he drops into the foliage, dead. Any movement or anything else?
I'm just going to move to here. So just
A little bit away.
still hidden from, but a bit away from them.
Okay. So Issen doesn't have a ranged attack, but he sort of gets up and shoulders his shield and draws a longsword and stands there and does a held action to attack anything that comes within range of him, standing in front of the three of you. These goblins are surprised, and so they don't get an action this turn. Corral, it's up to you. But however, you do know that they're all looking up, very surprised that they're just out picking some lavender and some parsley, and suddenly people started throwing fire at them. Their day's just taken a turn turn for the worse. Corral.
Okay, so I see that the goblin died, right?
Yes.
Can I tell my bodies that I should try to capture the other one so that they...
Yeah, you can. It doesn't take an action or anything, so you can yell out, "Hey, we should try and keep one of these guys alive," but you can still take.
We need some information. So how about we try to? So we try to capture them instead of just killing them, so that we can maybe get some information about what's going on here.
The other thing you can do.
Agree? Okay,
Yeah.
so
There's not really time for a big debate about it, but you can, because your turns only last 6 seconds. but you can sort of yell out, "We should try to keep some of these alive," or something to that effect, and see that you get a few nods or whatnot, and see that whether they act on that, as you're expecting or not on their turn. But you can definitely yell out.
Okay.
For free.
Okay. Reader, how about you try to bait them closer to us, so we can just gang up on the other guy, on the last one.
Oh.
You're pretty certain.
Oh.
You're pretty certain that the others have heard and seen the other goblins drop. So they're only not that far away. So while they're slightly obscured, they're aware that there's some sort of attack going on.
Okay. So that's. I just proposed a plan and then ready my arrow, my bow in case something goes wrong, and then my turn.
Okay. So if you wanted to, what you can do is you can, instead of having your action, you can use your reaction to ready something. But what you need to do is say, what is going to trigger that readied action to do. So you could go something along the lines of, I've got an arrow notched, and if they do charge me, I'll shoot at the first one, to rush me.
I'll exactly that then. I'm gonna ready up my bow and look around in case something else happens.
Yep. Okay. But the only thing with readied actions is they're not that flexible that you can just change what you want to do. It's sort of like you're getting ready for a certain thing to happen, and like a sniper waiting for someone to run across a gap or something along those lines. But yeah, so you've got an arrow notched and ready to shoot something that charges you if it comes to that. And that uses your reaction as well, which you get one of those a turn. So that's corral. Trust. You're still well within range of this second one if you want another firebolt or something else.
So I've heard what... I'm really sorry. Is it Corral?
Corral, yeah.
Corral. I've heard what he said. So, but I decide, I'm going to take it. So I'm good. So guys, just leave it to me, and I jump out in front here-ish, and I try to intimidate the goblin.
Okay. All right.
So I'm like, you stop there.
Okay. Can you roll
don't run.
Roll an intimidation roll.
Okay.
Okay. This one's not with advantage, so we have to take the first one.
That's one. 7.
Yeah, but they look at you and they sort of look at each other and sort of sneer and draw swords.
Okay.
Let's see, where you were over here somewhere. 1, 2, 3. If you wanted to slink back into line, you can move 2 more squares.
So I'm a bit put out that they weren't afraid of me, so it's good. Yeah, I just kind of come back here.
Okay, all right.
Just
next
backing up.
Yeah.
Backing up.
Nothing to see here. Gully.
Okay. I see them sneering and drawing their swords. So, weapons carte. Okay, so from behind all you hear a sudden kind of warping kind of sound, and then a snarling as Gully wild shapes into a giant hyena.
Okay. Is that size?
And then he's going to. Sorry.
Is that size large?
Okay. So he's just going to charge straight up to. He's going to charge up straight up to that goblin there.
Okay. All right. Rah! Runs and savages.
So his attack. I'm just gonna pull up the heinous stats. So he's going to attack with a bite. That is +5, so let's roll. Oh, okay. So it's a natural 20 +5.
Okay, that's a hit.
Yeah. Bit overkill on this goblin.
You grab him in your massive jaws and start ripping from side to sides as this goblin goes tossed off into the bush.
Oh, nice. So, yeah, Giant Hyena gets Rampage, so if he reduces something to 0 hit points, he can take a bonus action to move half speed up and make another bite attack.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right.
So, I'll just run up to the next nearest goblin because I should have enough movement.
Yep.
Half the speed is 25. Oh, it's just short of that next goblin.
Yeah.
I think.
I just have a look at this. You can get to that space there, and you can actually attack it.
Yeah, you can get to this guy here. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because how much range is on that bite attack? 5 foot.
What's your What's your movement range?
Movement is 50 feet as a giant hyena.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can get to here.
Okay. So I'll make a bite attack against that goblin.
All right. So to everyone's horror, they hear this twisting, snapping, popping sound, snarling, and then this massive hyena leaps over you, races in, rips into a goblin, tosses it aside, and then rolls a 5. Is that right? No.
So 5 plus 5, so it's 10 total for the next goblin.
Okay, so the next goblin's not so tricked by your speed and dodges to one side.
Okay.
All right.
Snarls disappointingly.
Yes. Okay, so Issen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, he rushes over.
I think he's. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So he just dashes and gets into range of a goblin, but that just gets him into melee range. And then the goblins go. Okay, so where are we? Here. Goblins.
Take notes for the hit points for this. 45. 45 total for hyena.
Yep.
And AC 12. Okay.
Okay, goblins are pretty speedy for their size. They can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, here and here. So we've got 4 attacks on you. Goblin, goblin, goblin.
Why is this guy here?
He ran up. He dashed in because he doesn't have a melee weapon.
Does it have ranged spells or ranged attacks?
No. And that's the way. That's also just the way he rolls. Okay, so what's the hyena's armor class?
Hyena's armor class is a 12.
Okay, so
Odd.
the first goblin hits and does 8 slashing damage. The second goblin hits with a 12 just and does 6 slashing damage.
Mm-hmm.
The third one hits and does 6. The fourth one...
Okay.
Is that a crit? It is. Rolling 1d6 plus 2. but it should be a critical. 2 + 2. Okay, I'll just double it for the sake of it. So that'll be 2, 4, another 6, another 6 damage from the fourth one. How you going?
Another 6.
Yeah.
Hey.
What do you want now?
19
19.
hit points.
Okay. Can you see the bar? So you should sort of see the bar sort of dropping. That gives the other characters a bit of an idea. And Sir Issen.
See the bar, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't see the health bars.
Oh, okay. I mustn't have them visible. Oh, it's probably just because it's the hyena.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
So only health bar I can see is mine.
Ah, right. I probably don't have them visible to everyone. Oh, it won't matter unless you're wounded. Bars only generally only show up unless.
Oh, I see a bar above the hyena now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So now he's dropped. It dropped a bit. So Issen's take gets missed. Both goblins clatter off him. And lastly, the old crone. Okay, she. Where are we? She moves over sort of to here, points her fingers at you in a Senator Palpatine style to the hyena, and this sickleish beam of green energy crackles in. You need to do a. Oh no, it's a to-hit roll. So.
Left next word.
Okay, 10's gonna hit. So you're taking. You take 6 poison damage. And you need to do a Constitution saving throw. So this green sort of pours poison into you. That's how you take the damage, and it's possible that some of it remains. Okay, no problem.
Natural 20.
Okay, happy days. You don't get the you don't.
Pretty
The,
20.
the poison doesn't continue to
Oh, yeah.
flow in. Okay,
Okay.
we move on to Corral.
Taking the damage, or was it just?
Isn't Greater next or?
Sorry.
It's my turn now. Okay.
Yeah, it's your turn. What I'm doing on the turn order is I move it down each time, so whoever's at the top, it's their turn next. So trust if you're getting an idea of what you want to do, that way when it's your turn, you're all set to go.
Yeah.
So Corral.
Okay. So, I can move. I move towards where the goblins were, so to that one,
Yep. Okay.
and I pick up my arrow.
Okay. You can retrieve your arrow as a free action. You get 1 free action a turn.
And I
You still haven't used
see a high.
Yeah, you see this hyena surrounded. You could just shoot your arrow. There's a few. You could see this guy here, and you've got a bead on him, and you've got a bead on this guy at the edge here too.
Okay, so since I see that this guy is in trouble,
Yep.
this guy I forgot his name.
Sir Issen.
I decided to give him a hand by shooting at these goblins with the arrow I just picked up. So we'll break even.
Okay, way you go. Roll to hit.
Yes, my longbow.
Nice. Yes, 6.
Did I hit?
Yes, you did.
She's doing it.
Oh! Okay, you leave him on his last legs, like 1 hit point. There's free information.
Okay.
And you've moved and taken a shot, so I think that's it.
I'm still hiding in the bushes, right?
You are, well, you're not. You're trying to remain concealed, but it's pretty clear that they would know where you are. They would know your location. You would need to do a stealth check as an action after moving or during moving.
Okay.
But as soon as you make a shot with your arrow, you're visible again. So generally, rogues and rangers and things, sometimes they can do bonus actions and try to hide after taking their attacks. But you're not that experienced yet.
Okay.
So trust.
Fair enough.
So how are you guys drawing the thing to? What?
So there's an
It
icon.
is.
There's an icon. 1, 2. If you look at that little set of icons on Roll20, on the far left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
The sixth one down is the ruler. It's a circle with a ruler angle.
It's circle with a ruler because it's actually a different screen on the DM screen to the player screen.
Oh, okay. Right. So.
It's the fourth one down on the player screen.
Right. Okay.
So
Can you?
Okay, and
There's if you go snap to center, and then you can just click and then drag it out and then.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I run in. I think it's in here behind Gully.
Okay.
Speaking is free, right?
Yeah. You can yell out something.
So I yell out to him, like, close your eyes, cover your eyes, and cast
Color spray.
color spray.
Yay!
Yeah.
All right.
So I click that, right?
Yeah.
That goes.
So how do I cast this?
Okay.
This kind of spell.
Yeah. So what you would do is still go to your character sheet. If I jump up, trust, go to your spells, and for color spray, you would just click on the title of color spray, and then you get what level are you casting at? Level 1 is all you've got, and then submit.
Oh. Submit. Okay.
Okay. Oh, and then you need to roll 6d10. Holy moly. This is how many hit points of things just go to
Okay. I think I clicked it a lot of times.
Oh no, what you can do is on the the little dice roller on the other side.
you can actually click on it.
D20.
If
I'm rolling a D20.
no, 6d10.
So what you do, you click on that dice symbol, and it brings up a dice roller page.
Yep.
And then you can actually adjust your dice rolls from there.
Okay, so I need a
So you want 6d.
6.
D10.
Yeah, 6 in the first one, a d10 roll. D10 as your die, and just click roll once you got that. Plus 0.
I have no idea what you're
Okay.
saying. So there's like a list of different dice, like D4, D6, D8, D10.
Oh yeah. So, but what you do is rather than hovering over to those, just click on the big D20 a second time, and it brings up another little screen.
It brings up a pop-up menu with everything you need.
Oh, okay.
So then you can just
This is useful information for me also.
then you can just type in roll 6 and then select D10 and then just click on roll.
And just click on roll.
There you go, 25.
Okay.
Boom. All right. So this massive blast of incredible color shoots out from Trust's hands, the goblins, 25 hit points worth of goblins, go blind automatically.
Okay.
So what I do is, so also just on that, that dice roller thing remembers your most recent rolls, and so if you need to roll 6d10, you will probably find it in on the list of the things that you've picked in there.
Yeah, it's there. Cool.
Yeah, okay. And it saves you having to do it again every time. So, whoops. You can see I've got a little icon next to the ones that are blinded.
Mm-hmm.
2, 3. So 3 of the goblins are now blinded, which is a condition which you can probably, just imagine what that means. It's easier for you guys to hit them, harder for them to hit you, and of course they can't see what they're doing.
They can't hear. Okay.
I can't see. Yeah. Okay, so that's the colour spray. I'm going to go Gully, Mr. Hyena.
Right. I will. So for a blinded target, do I get any benefits for attacking a blinded target?
Yeah, advantage.
Advantage. Okay. So I'm gonna hit the one that's to my right that's blinded.
Yep. This guy here is
okay.
not.
That guy's not blinded.
No.
No. Okay. So I will attack the one that's on the immediate right of the hyena token.
Okay.
In the upper right.
Okay.
Roll d20 plus. Just trying to out this dice roller. Yeah.
Okay, so you hit.
Sweet. That will be 2d6 plus 3. Ten damage.
Okay. You tear out his throat and toss him aside once again. It's another one gone.
Nice. I'll move on to the next one. Then with my rampage.
Okay.
Roll with advantage, level 2 this time rather than 1, but it didn't matter the first time, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Is that it?
I didn't do that right.
No, what it's done is just by rolling 2d20, it adds them all together.
Right, okay, well, I just do 2 separate ones, yeah.
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 We'll take that one as my first one,
Yeah.
and then I'll just roll a second one.
Okay.
Oh, that's better.
All right.
That's better.
All right. Roll your damage.
All right. It's 10 damage.
Okay, he's dead as well.
Nice. Don't know how many. Hyena reduces creature to 0 points of a melee attack on its turn. Yeah, okay, so that's me done.
Okay. Grindor, up the back.
I like how everyone has just left the dwarf behind.
He's just looking around like, where is everybody?
Where did everyone go? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to action dash.
Yes. It's okay.
to get in this fight right there.
Okay. You're now here to save everyone.
Yeah. But while I was running, I pulled out my warhammer,
Right.
so I could at least be helpful.
Okay.
That's my turn done.
All right. Fully sick. Okay, so Issen. Okay, so Issen has a crack, and Oh, was that a hit? That was a 20?
Yeah, nat 20.
Yeah,
Nat
nat
20 and then a 1 on a hit.
Oh, fantastic. I have to roll 2 of those. Okay, cool. So he crits on 1 and kills it. He's leaving the guy
Instant
that's...
death.
Yeah. And moves around here, so he's sort of interposing between that guy and you. It seems to be that's his thing, is getting in the way of his squishier peers. I'll move him on. Corral, where are you? Oh, yep. You got the sniper shot spot.
Okay, so as I see that Eisen is doing pretty much fine.
Yep.
I just I decide to move over here,
Okay.
and I decide to attack this goblin with one of my melee weapons.
Okay. You've got a rapier
I think we have a rapier.
and a short sword.
I don't know what's the difference, but let's go with the rapier because it sounds
Okay.
cooler.
Okay, the rapier.
It hits.
This guy's not blind. It's 6 plus 3 plus 2, so that's not going to hit because it's not got advantage.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so it misses. But the way that this guy's normal style of fighting when he's doing this, so you've got your longbow in your hand. If you wanted to throw that down on the ground where you are, you could pull both your rapier and your short sword out and attack with both. So you could have an attack with a short. You can have an attack with your short sword as well. It just means your bow is on the ground at your feet.
Similar to pick up again.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise,
I'm just gonna retreat a little bit back.
okay. If you do move back, he will get an attack of opportunity, which is when you move out of someone's melee range without taking an action to specifically try and disengage, which is instead of attacking, just moving defensively and carefully backing away, picking your timing.
Okay, never mind. I'm gonna do what you said about using the
Okay.
short.
So you drop
Sounds cooler.
rather than transfer your bow to your offhand and pull out your rapier and spearing the guy, you.
Oh, actually, never mind. Cooler idea. Before I move originally, can I maybe tell Trust to hold the bow for a second?
Well, you can't really hand it off or anything, but you can. I'm okay if you dropped it somewhere along that line, like behind the hyena or at Trust's feet, and then rushed in and had your attack.
Okay. So I tell Trust, hand over my bow if you can. That's something.
Okay. All right. So roll for your short sword as well.
With the short sword.
Yep.
Damn, the first attack.
All right.
23.
Holy moly. Okay, so you hit the guy, and it's a D6 with a short sword. Okay, and you kill him with the left-hander. Okay, Corral, I'm moving you on. Trust.
So I shout to Corral, I have no idea what I'm doing with the bow. Like, this is useless to me.
Yeah.
And power up firebolt.
Okay.
And I'm going to target the old crone.
Okay. All right, roll to hit. Or roll your firebolt.
Okay. Okay. Then what do I do now?
Where is it?
Did that hit?
No, it didn't. Yeah, you only got a 7, and so she dodges aside and it shoots off and hits a tree next to her. You've still got movement because you can do an attack and move in the same action if you want to move somewhere.
Okay. I'll move down. Do I still have 30 feet?
Yeah. You can move your full movement.
Okay. I'll move down near roof door. Green door.
Okay.
Here.
Get behind the wall of steel, and that's your turn.
Yeah.
Now, I think by killing some of these goblins, I've dropped them off the initiative list. So it's not actually Gully, it's the guys now, but I'm going to add them back in.
Sorry, could I just ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
What are the two? So there's a 7 and a 24 on the firebolt that I just cast.
What
are the two separate numbers?
So there's a way that you can select to automatically always roll with advantage. What that means is it assumes that you've it sort of rolls twice, and so you see 2 to hit rolls there. So one is a 2 plus 5, and the other one is a 19 plus 5. And if you do that, it makes it a bit easier. You don't have to worry about rolling twice if you do get advantage. Like if, let's say it's a disadvantage and you're blinded and you're trying to hit someone, you would still use those and just take whichever is the lowest. And if neither applies, you always use the first one. There's another way that what you can also do is automatically roll damage every time, so you don't have to then go, oh, I did hit, in that case, now I'll roll damage. I figured out the way you roll damage is in this window where you can see your 2 hit rolls. Firebolt, the word, is highlighted. So now if you go and click that, that'll roll your damage. Just try it, well, just for shits and giggles.
Oh, okay, I see.
Okay, so now you do the next step, which is the damage for it. But if you have a look, you'll be able to find somewhere there it says always roll advantage and always roll damage at the same time simultaneously, which sort of speeds it up a little bit. Okay,
thank you.
That done. I'm just sorting, descending, and then I scooch everyone on, and then I move to them. Okay, this guy here turns and runs off into the woods sprinting. Sir Issen gets a free strike. He hits and kills the guy. This guy also runs and gets a free strike from the hyena.
Okay. $15.
Okay, roll your damage. You hit him. Okay, you kill him as well. These two go belting off into the forest as fast as they can, and you lose sight of them by the time they finish. And the crone, it's not actually, the crone also moves a certain distance and then vanishes. So you don't know where she's gone, but there's a pop and she's gone. And you guys are left huffing and puffing, and but otherwise victorious in the field of goblins.
Can I attempt to use my... Oh no, it doesn't have it. Alright, I thought this heinous had keen senses, but apparently doesn't. Never mind.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll try.
We're out of initiative round now, but if anyone
Actually,
else...
no.
Yep.
Can I try to do a survival check as a hyena to see if I can track either the scent or the tracks of the crone?
Yep, you can do a survival check.
Okay. So as a hyena, that's 20 plus 4. Ah. Okay, so that's 24.
24. Okay, so you're pretty sure you know where you can definitely smell goblin smell. Is it the hyena or the hag that you were the goblin or the hag that you were chasing?
I was seeing if I could track the hag because she felt like she was in charge.
Okay, so you go blatting off through the woods, probably 20 feet or so through the bush, and you can smell a spot where all of the smell disappears. It just sort of stops.
Stops suddenly.
Yeah. How many hit points are you on, by the way?
13.
Okay.
Okay. I don't see any like brush moving or anything like that.
Yeah, you think you can see brush moving and something moving through the bush away from you. You can.
I moved towards that.
Okay. All right.
With 50 feet of movement, so pretty fast.
Yeah. So you're hot on the heels of something that is probably invisible.
Probably invisible.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've done a dash to get to here. Well, your action was the survival check.
Okay.
And so I'll use the hag just for the sake of it. You're not specifically there because we're sort of off the map now, but
okay.
You're off chasing through the bush, and just like when they release the hounds for everybody else, you've seen this hyena just go belting off through the bush. Gwyndor.
Is anyone badly hurt?
I don't think anyone is.
Everybody's hotels, I believe.
Only the hyena took damage, right?
Yeah, only the hyena.
I'm good.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
He's already gone away from my range anyway.
Yeah, he's moving at twice your movement speed.
Yeah. No, I can't do anything.
Okay, so you put your mace away. Say, well,
Warhammer.
Job done, Warhammer. Job well done. Job well done, buddies. Sir Issen wanders over to you, sort of wiping blood off his sword, and says, "Does Gully always turn into a giant hyena, or is that something new?"
That's a new one on us.
Okay.
Only on Fridays.
Okay. Okay. But otherwise, he's not doing anything either. Corral?
I just pick up my bow wherever from trust and go like.
I just left it on the floor.
Okay.
Well, it was the intention that mattered. Okay.
Yeah. Well.
So I go pick it up wherever it was.
Yeah, it was next to the tree there. Okay.
So the goblins are just gone, right?
Yeah.
So I go and look for my arrows.
Yeah. Okay. So you start
The arrow I shot
fishing,
the goblin.
fishing around for your arrows.
So I find it and I say, and I add one arrow to my quiver.
All right. You probably a couple. What about next round? You did hear the hyena ravaging through the bush, and a round or so later, he's probably 50, whatever it was, 50 feet or so away.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all goes quiet. The bush is silent.
Does anybody think we should be following Gully? Yeah, might need our help.
I mean, we're basically in the middle of nowhere, so might as well go where it is.
Okay. So everyone starts moving off in the direction of Gully. Yeah, I assume dashing, or are you just sauntering?
I mean, with walking left behind.
Fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
All for this.
You mean he is
Why did I come up with
hyena?
one?
Like, what could go wrong?
Okay. You.
What if 2 hyenas appear, huh?
Yeah. Which one do we kill?
I'm fine. What
All
could go
right.
wrong?
I'm just you come across this giant hyena lying in a heap on the moss.
All right. Okay.
Are you okay, buddy?
Can you save him?
Can I do anything? Am I paralyzed or?
No, you can't do anything.
Right.
It's at here. I will. I'll just jump into Discord for a second. Where are we? I've got so many windows. There we are. So what I've got is another channel called Roll Dog One Shot W, which is for whispering. So I'm just gonna just bear with me for a minute, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Gully into that one. Okay, he's gone now. He's in the Chamber of Silence. I'm going to go in there with him, and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so Gully, it's just you and me in here. You're chasing this invisible old hag. You're pretty close to her, but what she's done is done a full move and cast invisibility, and you've sort of raced after her and caught up with her pretty much because even though you did an action, and she spun around on her turn and cast a sleep spell on you, which is rolled enough to just drop you in your tracks.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's unless there's something that means you're immune to sleep, but otherwise they don't know you're asleep or dead or whatever yet. But that's
fine.
That's what happened.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything to resist sleep. I don't think. Not in hyena form anyway.
All right. We'll jump back into it.
All right.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're just discussing eating a hyena.
So yeah, I'm super dead, guys.
Right. So yeah, you can see probably 15 foot through the bush. A dog the size of a horse, badly injured from many sword blows and things. Everyone piled into it. There's poison pouring out of its wound on its side. Otherwise, it's just laying on its side. You observe it for a moment. I'll let you all roll a perception.
Right. Who's gonna?
Everyone can do one. That's fine.
Okay. A percent.
So Grindor tops it out with a 14 plus 4. Grindor's quite perceptive. Grindor, you see this giant hyena's back leg start to sort of twitch, and you've seen dogs do this, and it looks to you like he's dreaming.
How many hit points does he have?
You don't know. You know he's badly injured, but you now, with your perception, you can tell there's a slight rise and fall of its chest, and while its tongue's like lolling out to one side, laying on the ground, there's a bit of a twitch on its leg too.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Okay,
as you approach, you can tell that it's the hyena is definitely alive. You cast Cure Wounds, and some of the wounds heal. And if anyone's proficient in medicine, you can roll a medicine check if you want to just check him out.
Okay.
not proficient in it, but I do have a +2 to it.
Oh yeah, that ups the. Yeah, you can try that if you want.
Cure wounds 5.
Yeah.
5.
Can we maybe use the flowers the goblins were using to make some medicine?
Yeah, I was going to suggest that.
Yeah, unless you've got proficiency in medicine, or herbalist, or proficiency in a herbalist kit, which some people have, you wouldn't know how to make it. You just know that this is the sort. It's like saying, "Oh, flour. That's what people make cakes with, isn't it?" Let's make a cake out of this flour, but you don't know how. But Grindor, you're
It's a vegetarian cake, okay.
Yeah, you're 100% sure that this dog is asleep.
Okay. I kick him.
Okay.
Back up.
Give me a tussle. Okay, Grindor. Gully, you sort of wake up.
Taking damage.
You wake up. Are you gonna snap? Are you a grumpy waker?
Oh, you son of a bitch!
But on the flip side, one of your wounds is healed as well. So.
All right. So, wake up, kind of snarling a little bit, and then kind of sleepily look around, and then kind of slump my head down. And you kind of whimper a little bit,
Okay.
disappointed.
All right. Are you gonna? What are you gonna do from here? You can pretty much join the party back again, but there's no evidence of anything nearby.
Ask Sir Isin if he has any idea who these goblins or this crow could be.
He says there are many residents of the forest, paupers and witches and crones and ruffians, ne'er-do-wells existing in the forest, living on naught but rabbits and roots. But he doesn't know. He doesn't suspect that this group has anything to do with the castle necessarily.
Alright then.
Explains these black caps. All those goblins had little black caps on.
What a mystery solved.
Right?
Only like 5 left to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those flowers around. Gully still in heinous form will kind of walk towards them and then kind of like nudge them and then look at the party members and then nudge the flowers again.
Oh yeah. It looks like you can see bundles of them that have been dropped, and there's
Okay, I'll nudge a few bundles and then look very like.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go over and pick up a couple of the bundles.
Yep. You know this stuff is worth a fair bit on the black market, unless you sell them to the Medicines Guild, who then sell them on to the herbalists that make the medicine. But you effectively got 25 gold worth of herbs here.
Yeah, that's good.
The difficulty, at least in Thentia, is finding a buyer. This is the good gear.
It's the good stuff.
Okay. Right, so you pretty much looted what you can around here. Are you... So Isin's keen to go to get onto this castle if there's nothing else that you guys particularly want to do?
The hyena pads on alongside service.
Okay.
And I'll just keep up my forms for as long as I can, an hour.
Yep. Okay, let's see.
Should we take a rest or?
I don't think I need to.
I think the only one we needed one is the hyena to be pretty alright
I'm fine.
now.
I'm all good.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. You walk another more than another hour. So you've probably had lunch by this
Okay.
time, which means what I'll do is I'll
So
bring.
by that point, I kind of revert form. Can I say to Gregor, I know a thing or two about herbs, so I might be able to do something with those.
Okay.
Thank you. Totally.
Yeah, just toss them to you. Yeah, that's yours.
I'll just add that. Herbs. $25 GP worth.
Okay, I've moved on to the next map. After what seems like an age, you crest a hill, and in the distance you can see a tower rising above the tree level. And it looks like there's activity on it. You're still quite a few hundred yards away. And as you approach, obviously you'll come down below that rise and below the tree level. But you do get a sense that you're close to the tower, and there definitely are ladders and crossbeams and cranes and things around it.
Is if, how close could we get to the castle? Yeah.
Oh, it's
Is there like
it's thick woods. If you just keep on going the way you're going, you'll get to it eventually. And if you want to sort of just go off the path a bit, you'll be obscured from anyone on the towers and things. It's more open it's more open from the south. It's more open from the south, but from the north, it's very thickly wooded.
So we approach from the north.
Under the canopy.
Okay.
Yes. I believe that's best course of action.
Okay. So I don't know if can you see where you are now in the woods?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And you can see sort of like a limit of vision, and off the screen in this direction. Oh, hang on. I'll just do my ping. On that direction is the sound of lumber being sawn and some voices.
Question: Is it dark right now?
No, it's only just after midday, because you set off first thing in the morning.
So we have. Which one of us is stealthy? Can somebody go and scout out what's going on over there?
I'll do it.
Off.
Yeah, stealth, elf. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead then.
Okay. Is that corrupt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go ahead and try to sneakily
Okay.
see what the sounds are.
Okay. You get a good look at the area, such that I can. I'll see if I can. Bear with me for a second. Oh, that's not right. I'll just reveal some area.
Okay.
It opens out not too far away from you, and further on you can see parts of a ruined wall. Beyond that, there's normal castle wall.
Okay. So, can I do like a perception check to see if I can see or hear anything nearby me?
You can see people crawling all over the place. I haven't got them on the map, but there's people all through this open area, engaged in construction. They look like peasants, I guess. There's a few that are armed. Most of them are not. All along here, some up on the wall.
Okay, do they seem friendly, or at least like?
Oh, it looks like they're hard. Looks like they're hard at work.
Okay. So I just go back and tell everybody. Okay, so there's people who seem to be working in construction, and well, and they seem pretty busy, but I would talk to them, but I'm shy, so I'm not gonna do that. So anybody wants to say hello, I can do it. Yes.
I guess I could do it.
Okay.
Guess I'm charismatic one of the group.
Yep.
Okay. I'll go with you in case they turn hostile.
Okay.
I'll,
Does that sound okay to everyone else?
that's great. You do your thing.
So Issen says
I'm not gonna...
talking to them may just give it all away.
Yeah, I did try to intimidate those goblins. It didn't really go very well.
Yeah. So, like after what seems like an age of crawling to reach as far as you can manage with stealth, you both managed to get to the edge. So I'll put Corral and Trust, very close to this edge here, and I can reveal some more area to you. You can sort of see along the line. So you can see like over, there's a large tower here.
I'm going to pat forward a little bit beside Gridor, just to kind
of... No worries, okay.
Keep forward.
Yep. There's the wall being worked on along here. There's a large tower here, and you can see, actually, with that, there's another one further down here.
Are there any people who are visibly, they have weapons on them, armed?
Yep, there are. Let's see. I'll put ones that look... There's a couple on the wall here. Just sort of wandering around, observing the people working.
Okay, Corral, as charismatic as I am, I'm kind of rethinking our bit. If you look at those guards on the...
So Issen's going to come up to you and have a bit of a look himself.
If Issen moves on, I'm going to move up as well.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
Okay, no worries. You guys all come up so that you can see what's going on. Issen quietly points out a figure that strides forth from the south tower, shouting commands to his subordinates before up in here, before retreating back into his tower. He says, "That's him. That must be the Bandit King." Look, listen, I've given a plan. There's superior numbers here. There's easily more than 50 people running around. He suggests that we prioritise reaching and defeating the Bandit King himself, rather than try to talk to them, which might end us in us being imprisoned or killed. If we can chop the head off this snake, this rabble look like they'll break and run very easily.
So I suggest we...
Give me a second, I'll be right back. I need to...
Okay, no worries.
This would be the perfect opportunity for a giant hyena.
Yeah.
Well, I can do that again, you know.
I'll give you a bit of a lay of the land here. There's with these two towers. This bottom one is where the Bandit King is, up the top there. There's not a wall joining the two, but there's like a ladder just laid across, so you could dash across from one tower to the other if you could get up to the top of it. There's no way to get up to the top of this one. It doesn't have scaffolding and stuff around it. The other one doesn't, but it has like a winch. So you can see it's almost 15 feet across, this one here. And so 3 squares by 3 squares. I'll draw something in to make it a little bit easier to see. Sort of there. Do it again. There. So there's a winch there. There's ladders along here. Could be more on the other side, but that's what you can see. And they're just because they're repairing this wall, the workers. This part over here is ruined wall, and it's not been repaired yet, so it is scalable but difficult terrain to get sort of up in this sort of direction. This is a 20-foot high wall, accessible to the ladders, and either there's a bit of a gap here where this winch is, but this winch looks like it's for loading stone and wood up to the top of this tower. So, Issen says he can probably volunteer to create a diversion. He's not sneaky by any means, and if he was to go around the other side and basically,
I'm back on the way.
Okay, if he could basically go around over to the other side and launch an attack. He's unlikely to, last long, but if that distracts these bandits on the wall, and you can dash across and somehow either get up to this tower or get across to here, a dash across to the bandit.
So, the tower that this bandit king fella, it's the far one.
That's the far one, yes.
Could potentially get us up there. Straight up there.
Yep.
I could, I don't always like doing it, but I can turn into a giant spider and go up the side of the wall. If you tie a rope to me, you could all get up.
Well, I
So cool.
happen to have a coil rope.
Well then, seems like the plan is meant to be.
I can climb up there instead of you, to make it a little bit easier on you.
If you certainly have the capability to climb, by all means. Means I can save that for later.
The tower's 100 feet tall, so it's probably I think 3 rounds of climbing per person.
If we did it stealthily.
So, could I create distraction? I'm gonna ping maybe over here,
Right.
ish, using, and I don't know how you say this word, my cantrips.
Oh, prestidigitation.
Thaumaturgy.
Oh, thaumaturgy. Yeah.
German
Um,
church.
Yes. Yeah, so we could get... I don't know if it would be good to get rid of the crowd of people.
Mm-hmm.
And like scare them, get them away, maybe also draw over the bandit guards on the tower.
It might be good to have some kind of distraction. I was considering skirting around the outside.
Are there guards on this like ladder thing that leads across the tower?
Yes, there are.
Is there anybody there that would see us trying to sneak around the side?
Yeah, there's guards on the wall that you can see because it's fairly obvious, but you're pretty sure there's probably guards at the top, and there's a covered. The tower's 100 foot tall, and there is. Let's see, the tower to tower beam, 50 foot long. There's the north tower lift, which is counterweighted, which would go to up to the top of that. Let's see. Oh, there's also a inhabited blind. So what that means is down here on the south tower, there's sort of like a platform shooting out from the side of it, which has got just like leather screening across it, and it's for crossbowmen or archers to shoot and view straight down the tower, sort of like murder holes, but it's not that. This tower is a bit old for that sort of technology. If someone's got proficiency in investigation, like if there's any Sherlock Holmes is amongst you, you can have a roll. Otherwise, if you don't have proficiency, you can still, the party could have a try.
Yeah.
I have
I'll investigate. Well, I have to. I don't know how much you have.
I'll roll one as well.
Okay.
I'm both investigate what we can.
Does Corral have proficiency in thaumaturgy, or is it just having a go?
I have +2 in investigation.
Oh, okay, right, yep. Yeah, nothing between the two of you. Nothing really jumps out at you, other than what you've come up with so far.
Is there any way any of us could disguise ourselves as peasant?
Yeah, it might be possible to
Maybe get a
blend in.
closer look.
Do is animal and well, people should go unnoticed, you know, and
Okay. So we disguise as a Trojan horse, and now but we could try to get a guard. Who is that person over there?
Just some commoners running around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just putting a few around the
Could
place.
I cast thaumaturgy?
Thaumaturgy.
Behind the wall, so like within the, like behind the wall, so then they would be looking inside while we came around the outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can. What's the range of your thaumaturgy?
It is 30 feet.
Right, so 6 squares on here.
Yeah, so yeah,
You can get to the other side of the wall.
behind on the other side of the wall. They'd all be looking inside while
So
we try to go in around the outside.
it looks like just the sort of thing. You manifest a minor wonder, a sign of supernatural power. You create one of the following effects. Your voice booms You cause flames to flicker, brighten, dim, change colour. You cause harmless tremors in the ground. An instantaneous sound that originates from a point of your choice. Rumble of thunder, the cry of a raven, ominous whispers. Ominously, an unlocked door or white windows slam shut. Spooky stuff. Paranormal activity.
Yeah, cool. What do you think of that, guys? We could get their attention away from us and run in and try
Seems
to...
like an idea.
It's definitely a plan.
That's a good plan.
Well, we've had worse plans and they have worked out. So you can try it.
So are we
you
going to
could-
get Gully to be a giant spider?
You do that.
Like the distraction
Spider bullet, spider bullet.
Okay, so Gully's a
Does
spider.
whatever a spider goblin does.
Shall I try and find a giant spider for you?
Pardon, sorry?
I'll find a giant spider. There we go.
Yeah. So I'll morph into my giant spider form, and you all see as my form kind of contorts. You get a clearer vision of it now, and I've become a giant black spider with a red abdomen.
Okay.
Wow, you look prettier than before.
On that note, I'll grab my rope
Okay.
and I'm like, right, I have no climbing speed.
Yeah. Okay.
I kind of lower my form so it's easier to tie a rope around me if need be.
Okay. All right. Oh, so are you tying yourself to the back of the spider, Grindor? Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay. You are one.
And anyone else who wants to ride the spider.
Yeah, I was going to say, can someone actually ride me as I climb?
Not ride. I think if you can probably carry one medium-sized creature if you're
I
size
can
large.
carry one medium. Yeah, okay. So I can carry someone up. It's like holding onto the rope as I go, and then we can secure the rope, and then other people can climb up. Would that be what we're doing here?
Unless we have another 50 feet of rope, we
Sounds
could
about right.
we could do that. Because I've got only one coil of 50 feet, so if someone
I have a hempen rope, which is I don't know how long it is.
it'd probably be 50 feet, so
Yeah, the standard rope you get in your adventurous pack is usually 50 feet.
Yep.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
so we'll tie them together and go climbs up and carrying the rope and
Yeah.
one of our
I'll hold until distraction is used.
Yep. All right, shall we get to it?
Spider clicks excitedly.
So, do you want
Okay,
to
I
pick
cast.
thaumaturgy?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's over here somewhere, is it?
More maybe around here, so they're looking really away from where
Okay.
we are.
All right, I think it has to be somewhere up a space you can see. So if you wanted it at ground level, otherwise it wouldn't be on top of the wall.
on top of the wall right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that's all right?
Yeah. On top of the wall seems fine.
Okay, so I cast it. Yeah, here.
Trust and Corral, you two are very close to the edge there. Can you just roll a straight intelligence check for me?
Intelligence check.
Yeah. So in your character sheet, instead of one of the skills, it's just
Yes.
21. Natural 20, is that it?
That's
Natural 20.
that's
The natural 20.
Okay. Okay, and that was trust. Okay, trust. Getting close enough. Yeah. Okay. So getting close enough to this now. All of the, Minority Report cogs and lines and tangents and things swirl in your mind as you look at all this engineering that's going on, and this lift that's down the bottom for lifting really solid blocks like 5-ton stones. You reckon if you slash the right rope, and with your intelligence roll there, you know the right rope. What it will do is, instead of having to haul the pulley slowly, bit by bit, and this whole lift here, and taking sort of 10 minutes to get to the top, because you'll cut the right weight, the counterweight will just pull this whole thing in one round 80 foot and rock it to the top of the tower. As a
Okay, so
it's just another potential way to get to the top quickly.
Okay, so I'll distract the guards, and I guess half of us could go on maybe 3 of us could go on the lift.
Mm-hmm.
And since Gobby has already changed into a spider, you and Grindel can go up the side of the wall.
Yeah.
So we'll all get up there faster rather than having to all climb up the rope separately.
Yeah. I just need to know, Gully, which tower are you climbing up? Are you going all the way around and climbing up the other one, or?
I was originally going to climb the one with the bandit king, but if we all go up the same one, that's probably safer.
Okay. So if I get this right, I'm just correct me if I'm wrong here. So you're just going to scooch around here with Grindor on your back, and get ready to scarper up the side here.
Yeah, I'm going to climb up the side there. Yeah.
Okay. So Issen's going off around this way, and he says, as soon as I cause a ruckus, you guys do your thaumaturgy and charge the lift. Is that the plan?
Mm-hmm.
Just checking.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So you're all sort of waiting there.
So we're all together.
You're all waiting there, and eventually you hear, "Ah!" And these two bandits sort of move along this tower, obviously looking at something to the west. The commoners pretty much sort of stand up and look around, but they're not taking that much notice. They're not as if they're all rushing off or anything.
And now really pay attention to the guy in spiders.
So is that you, Trust? Are you going to do this thaumaturgy?
Do I need to now that Isen has distracted them for us?
Oh yeah. You could just make your dash now, I suppose, if you want to do that. So you and Corral. Let's see. One.
I'm just waiting.
Let's do it.
Because I'm in the corner. I don't hear anything now, so I'm waiting.
Yeah. I'm just going to clear the turns list, and I'll get everyone to do initiative so we can do it one by one.
Save initiative!
Oops.
Ugh. Wait a minute.
Oh.
I should have used the spider's initiative, actually. Doesn't matter. We only need one better. No, wait, two better, but still doesn't matter.
Okay. So I think we've got an order now. I need to add in Sir Gallivant. Sir Isen. Add turn. Roll. 15.
So
Everyone else got a better initiative than us.
Alright.
Oh no.
So Trust. You move across. 1, 2, 3, and you are now Well, I'll just go to front. Yep. And you leap onto
Do I
the thing.
use the spider's dex for my initiative, or is it just based on guys?
Yeah, you use the spider's dex for what you add.
Okay, so that would be 7
Okay.
instead.
And I guess, Trust, are you getting out your dagger and holding it at this rope, waiting for Corral to jump on?
Yep.
Okay, so that'd be... or are you just slashing it now? 'Cause
Well, you know, he said he was boasting about being able to climb up walls, so you know.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'll see you in
You're
5...
self-confident, that's good.
I'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay,
As
so...
soon as I hear the snap of the cord, I stop climbing.
Alright, so there's Trust, run off, and readies an action to cut the rope the second that Corral jumps on it. So Issen goes charging in and starts clambering up the rocks with his sword and shield as these bandits get crossbows out. Corral, you dash across.
Excuse me, so right now we're at the top of the tower, or?
No, now you dash across, leaping onto this thing, which triggers your held action to cut the rope.
Yeah.
All right, you slice through the rope, and the whole thing just goes shooting up in the air. Can you guys both roll dexterity checks? Dexterity.
For that.
Yeah. Actually, no.
Just
it's not a saving
simple
throw. It'll be acrobatics. You could roll acrobatics or athletics, your choice. You can either,
Acrobatics or it's the same thing.
okay, you can hang on with your strength, or you can hang on by keeping good balance. Okay.
So
They're all the same numbers or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So,
Sorry,
Corral's okay. All right. Okay. Both of you just surf this thing to the top, and then jauntily, hop off on the other side. Okay. Bad things. These guys shoot arrows at Sir Issen, and 2 arrows come shooting out of the cover from on top of the tower over here. You can see there's 2 scouts. I'm using scouts, but it's basically archers. What? Corral, what's your armor class?
My armor class, it's 14.
Okay. Okay, so you get hit. Taking 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage?
6, yeah. Oh, it's +2. I'm just roll. That's just the bare dice roll.
Okay, never mind. So I add -6 here.
Oh yeah. What is your hit points, by the way? Your total?
20.
20. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set up your hit points in here. 20. Save. Okay, can you see your bar? Yep. So your bars.
Yes.
Cool. So you've now got a little health bar there. Let's see the other scout. Holy moly. Okay, he shoots at the same one, shoots again, he gets 2 arrows. And hits as well.
Hits me?
Yeah.
Oh,
And does 7 damage.
So that would be. I'd be left with.
7 left.
I want -7 here.
Yep.
So I'm an idiot. I have 14 -7.
Yes. Okay. The other one has 2 shots at Trust.
I'm hurt basically.
Trust, what's your armor class?
15.
Uh,
Armor class 15.
yeah, okay, that's a miss. And the second one misses as well with a 5.
Phew.
Okay. Grindor. I guess Grindor and Gully. You dash. What's your dash for a giant spider?
So giant spider, I get, I believe it's 30 feet, 30 feet of climbing speed. So if I dash, I can get 60 feet
Okay. So
in a round.
all right. So we'll just have to remember that you're 40 foot from the top.
And with my spider climb, I don't need to make any checks for climbing.
No. It's just natural. Gully. Okay. Trust. It's now your go again. Round 2.
So I cast Firebolt at the
At the archers. Yep.
yes.
Okay. Where you go?
Do I need to choose one of them?
No, you just take the first one. Which is 7
Yep.
plus 5. Okay, I'll just check there. No, that's a miss. Unfortunately, your firebolt blasts off onto the cover that they've got.
Okay.
Do you wanna
I move behind. I'll take cover behind him.
Okay, there is battlements on this tower, so you can just duck down behind that as well. You know, like over
Is
here.
that this? Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, it's a perceiving him, isn't it?
Yes, it's a blood with armor, right?
Yep.
All right, so you've now got 3/4 cover, which gives +4 to your armor class. So Issen battles on, and he's now engaged the bandits on the battlements, and there's others sort of rushing in now that you're up the top of the tower. I'm just going to, now that you guys are at the top of the tower, I'm just going to scroll out and reveal more of the place. Okay. So that's Issen. Corral.
Okay, so can I use my second wind to recover some hit points?
Yes, and second wind is a bonus action, so you can still get your attack.
Then, okay, so
I think it's D10 plus your level.
D10 plus 2 if it's a level 2 fighter.
Yeah.
okay, so I one d.
Yeah, 1d10 plus 2.
D10 plus 2.
Okay, so you get 12 hit points back.
Maximum health!
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I don't give a shit about your arrows.
All right.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So add those on. You can type in +12 if you do that in your on your icon. Okay, cool. That's worked. And then, do you want to pop up, have a shot?
It says okay, wait, it says 19, but my maximum health is 20. Oh no, that's fine. So it's actually not massive speeds.
You'll be two off
anyway,
4,
so-
I think. Yeah, you are. 19.
Okay, so 19.
Yeah.
Oops. So there are no enemies around.
Yeah, there's 2. The 2 scouts that
question.
shot you are still there.
I mean, but they are below us, right?
No, they're above.
Here.
These guys here are on a little balcony with some hide cover, shooting at you through sort of flaps in the leather cover.
Okay. And this thing right here.
It's
It's not. It's like a door, right? It's not
no,
a
it's like a ladder that's laid across this between the two towers.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm just gonna take out my longbow and try to shoot the
Okay,
shoot one of them.
roll to hit.
Okay, give me a sec. Here we go, longbow.
Okay, that's a hit. Despite them having cover,
Perfect, and
you send an arrow through the slit and into the scout.
and then I roll damage. 9 piercing damage.
Damn.
Okay, today was my lucky day. Yeah?
Okay. You don't
Very
hear.
nice.
You hear a
I
cry.
get killed by an arrow and I just get overserved apparently.
Okay. And I presume then you duck down to take as much cover as you can.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you call that using the bolt? Shoot them. I get a catch. 360 no scope.
Okay. You guys have got 3/4 cover, and so that gives you gives you +4 to your armor class. These scouts now return fire, 2 shots each. One. Let's see. Whoops. Where is it? 2. This is number 1 for you, Corral. 12. So that's a 16. Does that hit? That doesn't hit your armor class, does it? With a +4.
My armor class was 14, so...
Yeah, so it's 18 now. Yep, so...
Jump up to 18, so yeah, no.
Yep. Second shot. 2, no.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Trust. 1 comes in at you. 2, no.
Nope.
Another one. 17
No.
+4 is 21. I think that's...
Oh, 21. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a hit because I'm at 19 now.
Okay. I think we've probably got about less than half an hour, maybe 20 minutes. Yep, okay. So the arrow does 6 damage to you.
Okay. So where my hit points?
so
Is that
what's- What's your total?
the one that says current hit points?
Yeah. Or even just max, whatever your total is. You're on call.
Max hit points or...
I think it just says 8.
Okay. Right. So,
squishies.
okay. So there you go.
Very squishy.
One arrow has dropped you from 8 down to 2 left, and you should be able to adjust it yourself if you need to. But
I think I did, yeah.
yep. Okay. So you can see you're like one of those goblins. 1 arrow and you're on your last legs.
Oh.
But that's them unloading, and they've now done. And there's a battle being waged down the below, as bandits try to scrabble up. They have to go a long way around to get to Saracen, but the sort of warrior types, not warriors, they're probably more like thugs, are fighting Saracen on the wall. Grindor and Gully. You're 60 foot up, so it takes another dash, but that will get you up to the top and 20 foot along. So if you're just crawling straight across, 1, 2, 3, you'd be halfway across the ladder by the end of your turn.
Okay, so we literally just go up and blast past.
Yeah, okay.
two.
This giant spider comes.
While we drive past or fly past, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a healing word on our sorcerer.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
All right, do your healing word.
For 3 points of 5 points of heal.
So trust, the way you do that is clicking on your character sheet and then clicking on your green dot. You can just then type in +5 and it should adjust. If you try that.
Character sheet.
Oh no, not. Oh yeah.
Where?
In your icon on the screen. You don't even have to go to your character sheet.
Okay.
Your token.
Okay. My token. Oh, sorry. the green one, and then
Yeah. Because the green one's your hit points.
plus say 5.
Plus 5.
5.
Plus 5.
There you
Yeah.
go. That's
Okay,
that's
thank
worked. So that's how you can adjust your hit points as you go along, and you can use the other colours for other things that might go up and down. Okay, cool. So that's Gryndor's done a bit of a ride by a healing word, as he just this wild spider goes racing over the top of the parapets, and straight away scrambles across this narrow beam. Trust, you are back in business. What do you want to do?
Can I look over at Sir Isidon, but it's going for him over there?
Yeah, you can see Sir Isin, and he's beset by opponents, but doesn't look like he's going down anytime soon.
Okay, so I forget my plan of maybe throwing a fireball up there and to refoc the archer's verse.
Okay.
So because a cantrip I can cast as many times as I want, right?
Yes.
A cantrip, yes.
Yes. Okay, so I fire to another fireball at the
Okay.
archers.
Where you go?
Yep.
This is a gunfight. You pop up, take a shot, and then duck it back down, I presume. Oh, 25. Okay, roll your damage. That's a
Nice.
hit.
Roll my damage.
You're like a surgeon with the firebolt, straight through the arrow slit.
Oh my god.
What is that?
Jeez.
What's the +7? I don't get it. Oh, it's because it's a crit. Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh.
Dead.
Oh yeah,
Plus
because the
7?
crit.
What did you say?
So it's 10 plus the 7. So that's how the crits work.
Yeah.
It rolls 2 die.
If you hover over your 2-hit roll, you can see you rolled a natural 20.
Oh yeah, it says I got 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's a critical, right?
No, the critical is rolling the 20 on your 2-hit roll naturally. So if you hover
Yeah. Then
over
See,
the
now-
green 25, it'll show what you actually rolled, which is a 20 plus 3 plus 2. And that's why it's showing
I
green.
see.
It's showing green because that's to show that that's a critical hit. And when you get a critical hit, your dice is doubled. So instead of, you don't double damage, you roll twice as many dice. So instead of rolling 1d10, you roll 2, and both of them are good rolls with a 10 and a 7. So he did a 17-point firebolt and killed the guy. Okay.
So he burned. He burned the crit. Jesus.
And are you ducking back down, or are you running across as well? Or?
No, I'm too squishy, so I'm
Okay.
just stuck back down.
Okay.
You
All right.
burned a man's entire family. Jesus.
Yes.
So Isin. Okay, Corral.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the basic thing and just take a shot at the other guy
Okay.
and then get back to cover.
Jump up, notch an arrow, send one down.
Oh.
Okay, that's another shot and another hit. Roll your damage. Oh, 9 piercing. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe back into cover.
Done. You hit him. You didn't kill him, but took about half his health.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Over here. All right, 2 shots. The archer is going for the giant spider. It's a bit more in his face. Yeah, it is. Okay, he takes a shot. Hitting armor class 10.
Armor class giant spider is a 14.
Oh, nice. Okay, and the second shot is a 12. So both of them miss.
How are you missing the giant spider?
Yeah, I know. It's a
Hey, spider friends!
Lifts his body up. Nope.
I'm just like, this image of like the spider like darting like erratically across the bridge with a dwarf wildly holding on.
It is a shit if you tried to aim at the spider but ended up hitting Kai by accident.
Like, ow, ow.
So it's right this turn.
Okay. Just something else happens. Where this beam is leaning on the other tower, a guy comes through the door that goes onto and occupies the space on the thing. I'll find it. Coming. It just takes a while for them to appear. Okay, great. There we go. Advanced. Okay, he's bare-chested. He's got a great axe, two-handed axe. Oh, where are we? Oh, this is better. Okay. Yep. And he seems to be working himself. He's frothing at the mouth and into a rage of some sort. And he comes running across the thing and hurls himself at the spider. Takes a whack. Hits armor class 17 on the spider. Uh-oh. Doing 11 points of damage.
11, okay.
What was the spider's armor class?
Spider's armor class is a 14.
Yeah. Which he
So
hit.
right. Never mind. Okay.
My natural. You're only seeing my natural rolls, not the plus that they get.
Yes, I remember that now.
Okay.
Well,
He's in such a rage that he seems to be ignoring his own defense, and you reckon it'll be pretty easy to hit this guy. He's just so berserk. And that is turn there. Grindor. How's the spider looking?
It's actually Spider Boy first.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
I thought it was Grindor then go. Oh,
Right.
right. Oh,
Yeah,
should,
okay.
oh,
Well-
right, yeah, okay. There we go. Gully, where you go.
That's sorted a bit. So,
You get an advantage to hit the berserker.
right.
He is wearing hide armor.
I'm going to veer back slightly, bearing in mind I've got a dwarf on my back,
Yep.
and fire off a web attack
Okay.
at the barbarian. So
Okay.
that's going to be 4 plus.
Is that a range attack?
Yeah. Plus 5.
So you're going to have to go back a bit, or are you going to do it while you're in melee? If you're in melee and you do a ranged attack, you get disadvantage. That's all.
But he has an advantage to hit, so it equals it out to a normal hit.
Yeah, they'll counter each other out.
Okay, so I'm just going to fire point blank.
Okay. All right.
Just one roll.
Point blank, web in the face. Where you go. 11.
We're gonna go for his arms, just like his general torso, the webbing.
Yeah, okay. Well, this glob of webbing comes shooting out at him, but despite his craziness, it misses. Probably due to nothing to do with his own skill at dodging. Just bad luck more than anything else. He just happened to be moving to one side.
That's fine. That's my turn.
Okay.
Now it's my turn. I'm gonna untie myself and throw myself at that berserker hammer first.
Okay. You've got a bit of a problem because there's not a lot of space for you. So as soon as you untie yourself, you can't really. There's nowhere really for you to land, unless there's nowhere for you to stop.
Okay, if I land on top of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You are.
I want to fucking hit something.
All right. You're Gwindor, one suggestion I can make is you haven't really done all your movement yet. There's nothing stopping you from just crawling underneath this beam and walking around this guy and stopping there.
Yeah, I'll do that. Leaving Driver behind. That's fine. I'll do that.
Or what we'd do is put you sort of underneath the bridge, so that Gwindor can just climb on top of the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I leave combat range by doing that?
No, you're still within combat range because you're still within 5 feet of him. You're just clinging to the underside of the bridge.
Yeah, I'm just holding on underneath.
Okay. All right, don't go unconscious. There's a 100-foot drop below you.
I'll try not to.
So do I still have advantage on him?
Yeah, you do.
On that? Yep.
Warhammer, I believe.
Yep. And since I use the attack action, I can attack again using my War Priest feature to make a bonus attack.
Oh, can you with a bonus action? Cool.
Yep. So I'm going to attack again.
So what happened? Warhammer 15? 16 plus 4?
So it rolled it rolled the first with advantage was a 20.
Okay.
And I was rolling it with one hand, wielding it one-handed.
Okay, so that's 8 damage to this dude.
Total is 8, and then I still have advantage on it if it's a bonus attack, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I think it's all attacks have advantage of him until his next turn, unless he uses Reckless again.
11 to hit. That one swings past him.
Okay, that the bonus action got a bit too far ahead of itself, and he dodged it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all happening. I'm just conscious of time for people. There's probably only well, maybe there is a little bit more, but if you have to go or I can try to speed it up as much as possible. I'm open to.
I'm okay for now, personally.
Yeah.
Same here.
Okay, even myself, I've probably got about 15 minutes in me.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
We could try to wrap that up within 15 minutes then.
Yeah, okay. All right, so where are we? Okay,
Trust.
so I've done that damage. Trust.
So once again, I pop up and use Firebolt.
Okay. The only one you can really see is the Scout and the Berserker. You could target either of them. The Berserker's probably even easier to hit because he doesn't have cover, and you've got advantage to hit him.
Yeah, I'll go for the Berserker guy.
Okay. Okay, so 18 hits.
So I got it was advantage.
Yeah. Okay, roll your Firebolt damage.
My damage 7.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
He's still not too bad. He's taken a bit of damage. And I presume ducking back down?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Isin Corral.
I just attacked. I realized that the berserker is probably gonna die between the two people targeting him and the giant fucking spider. So
Right.
I just attack the scout. I try my luck with the scout.
Okay, where you go? Ooh, 20. Okay, you hit him.
Nice.
Okay, you kill him.
Good.
All right.
Okay. And then I get back into the.
Okay.
Yes. I get back into the.
Okay, the berserker has another whack at the spider. Oh. Probably not, actually. He goes reckless again. He's going to attack the dwarf in front of him.
Okay.
Okay, that's going to hit armor class 20, but he gets to roll advantage, so it's possible for a crit, that's all. It's why. Yep, okay, so he hit you.
Nice hit.
And he does 5 damage with his great axe. Ridiculous. Okay. Another thing happens on bad person turn. Is another guy shows up on the battlements on the other tower. Well, he doesn't look like a demon, but that'll do. I'm just going to do it for now. And this is the guy that was barking orders before. Okay.
Yeah, that looks more like him. Because you didn't say he was supposed to be an illusionist or something?
Yeah. Okay. He, when you cast a spell of second level higher... Okay, he casts a spell, and these magical bolts of pure force come conjured, and then 3 of them go shooting out. Let's see. When you cast a spell, use a second level higher. Yeah, 3 of them go shooting out. 3, they all hit the dwarf. What's his name? Grindor. And they unerringly hit. They swerve around the berserker. Doing... So this is a magic missile spell. D4 plus 1, so doing 8, doing 11 damage to Grindor. Does that drop him? Oh no, he's on 1. He's on 1.
No. Yeah, I'm on 1.
Okay, all right. Happy days. You survived it, and the berserker's already gone. So. These commoners are all racing off into the woods.
The berserker's dead?
No, the berserker's still cooking with gas. Gully.
Right. Crawl up underneath and come out from behind the berserker.
Okay, so you're back on top of the bridge.
Yeah, I'm going to attack the berserker
Okay.
with the spider bite.
Okay. Roll to hit with advantage.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, you hit him.
Alright. So that would be. Let's click the damage a bit. I set it up so I could.
Yeah, D8 plus 3 piercing damage.
Oh, that's. And D8 plus 3.
And he fails his constitution saving throw.
Okay, so that is 9 damage from the bite, and then the poison. He fails, so he takes 2d8 poison damage.
Okay.
So 2d8 poison. 15 damage poison.
Okay. He's down to about a third of his full hit points. So seriously injured.
Oof. Right. Okay then.
But he's a tough nut.
Okay.
Okay. And that's your turn, Gwyndor.
That's my turn.
Yeah.
Well, first things I'm going to do is take out that spellcaster.
Right.
So I'm going to guiding bolt him.
Okay.
Range spell attack.
Yeah. Way you go.
A
Natural? No.
23 to hit
Yep.
and 19 radiant damage.
Whoa.
And,
Lucky rolls this game.
and since that was an attack action as well,
Yeah.
my War Priest feature kicks in.
Okay.
I'm going to attack that berserker.
Okay. Where you go?
Yeah, that was a 23 to hit.
Oi. That's a hit. Because you have advantage here.
Okay, now.
Yeah,
Doing-
that was with advantage.
Doing 5 damage.
Yes.
Okay. So still critically, still severely injured, but not last legs by any means yet. They take a pounding, these berserkers. That's Gwyndor. Trust. You've got the mage up on the top, who's taken about half from that massive radiant, searing holy fire or whatever it was, and the berserker.
Did I mention that guiding bolt also has advantage on the next attack?
Does it?
Guiding bolt
that-
lights up your target.
Okay.
Yep, the next attack action has advantage on it.
Okay, so you can see that there's a there's the show that he's targeted. There's a little icon there with arrows in his back. So trust. You've got 2 targets. Both of them you have advantage on. One because they're berserk and one because they're lit up.
How? So the mage type guy, he took damage, right? How damaged is he?
Oh, far from
Yeah,
defeated. Yeah, you can see he's about half.
Can't see like
Oh,
a.
okay.
Can't-
Let's see. See, compact. There you go.
Yeah. So I decide that the giant spider and the dwarf can probably handle the berserker. So I pop up and I fire another firebolt.
Okay.
This time at the mage guy. With advantage, right, this time?
Yes.
Yep.
So your second shot hits.
Okay.
Yep. Doing 9 damage. Wow. All right. You can see he's still there. So Isin Corral, you're the last guy to go before bad things.
No. Bad things about to happen.
So Breeder is how is he doing? Is he healthy or is he? Or I asked him, are you fine?
No.
Or do you need help with the berserker? No.
No. What? Have her head shield out? No.
Okay, so I'll help him out, but
Shoot
the
the
berserker's
berserker.
almost dead, right?
No. No, none of them are
I'll just attack
critically.
the
Neither of
berserkers,
they're very injured, but not critically.
Okay, so should I attack? Because I have advantage, I'm gonna attack the mage.
Oh, you don't have
No.
advantage on the mage
He's
anymore.
dangerous.
I think the guiding.
No, it's just the whole first.
Yeah.
It was just the next attack, so it was already taken. So
You still have advantage against a berserker, though, if that's what you're
Yeah.
looking for.
Okay. Then I'll attack the berserker.
Okay. The guy waving his arms wildly in the air gets an arrow between the.
With my longbow.
Hey. You don't need
wow.
You don't need advantage. Okay.
Who
Roll,
needs advantage?
roll your damage.
Advantage.
11 piercing damage.
Okay. So he's still there. I'm just checking something. Do you have spells, Corral? I can't remember. No.
No, I don't have.
Not next level. Next level. Oh no, you don't. You're straight fighter. Okay, cool. So that's Corral. Duck back down. Bad things happen. Right. The berserker goes for Gwyndor. Goes reckless again, so he gets advantage. There's the first one. 10 plus 5, I believe. No, that's a miss. 15. Does that hit you?
Nope.
Okay, but it's advantage, so I'll just try again. No, he misses.
Definitely
you.
not.
He misses you.
He missed it. How did you miss? He was 2 feet in front of you.
Okay.
Oh, this interview.
The wizard moves across to here. And he conjures more magic missiles.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
4, 5. Okay, this time, because now that he sees that this is a real threat, he conjures up 6 magic missiles. Now he doesn't know how it's going to be, but he's going to send, based on how damaged you are, he's going to send 1 into Gwyndor, 6, 2 into Trust, 2 into Corral. What does the spider look like? Is it damaged at all?
It's looking a little bit shaky. A couple of the legs are bent. It's 15 hit points.
Yeah, okay. Well, he doesn't know your hit points, but like, what percent are you on? That's probably more informative to him.
Percentage.
Are you on half or
He's just above 50%. Just above 50%.
All right, so I'll send 1 into Gwyndor, 2 into Trust, and 3 into the thing. So first,
Could you do me a favour and display magic missile? I'm curious about that.
Magic missile. can't display it because I'm doing it from another app, but I can post.
It's alright. I've got D&D Beyond, so I'll read it then.
There you go. 3 glowing darts. Each dart hits a creature of your choice. You can see does D4 plus 1. The darts also simultaneously, so we can't just pick who and then keep adding to them. But if you cast it as a high level spell, every level adds another bolt. So he's just cast, it's normally a 1st level spell, and he's casting it as a 4th level spell, so 3 more darts. Okay, first things first. 3 magic missiles onto the spider. 8, 9, 10, so 11 damage to the spider. How are you looking from there?
11. I am still up with 4 hit points on the spider.
Okay. But he can't still keep pumping them in because he has to decide his targets before finding out what they do.
Yeah.
One goes into Grindor, which no doubt's going to put you unconscious. That'll do 3 damage. 3 damage.
That's me down.
Yeah, that's fine. Boom, and I'm just going to give it an icon there. You're not dead. You don't have the cross, but it's not looking good. And he collapses onto this 5-foot walkway. Be different if you're clinging to the underside of it. What's next? And then 2 onto Trust. 2. Okay, so Trust, you take 5, 6, 7 damage.
7.
Oh, that's going to take...
Trust is down too.
Okay, Trust, you're out of action and go unconscious. Okay. Gully, you're still...
Shot that guy instead of the barbarian, the berserker.
Right. How's that berserker looking?
Critically
Not
injured.
good.
Critically injured now.
Right, I'm gonna have to attack him because he'll take out
Grindor.
he'll take out Grider in the next turn. So I'll attack berserker.
Okay. Advantage.
Okay. And then I'll roll damage.
Yes. He fails his poison save.
Fails save. Nice. Okay, so well, the poison damage is 10 poison damage, and then the regular attack is 1d8 plus 3.
Okay, you bite him, poison him, and throw him off the edge. He falls 100 feet to his death.
Oh, nice.
Insta kill.
There's a satisfying thunk at the bottom.
So for my movement, I'm going to turn around and back over, and I'm going to crouch over the body of Grider in an attempt to give him cover.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can. Yep. All right. And
That's a death saving.
1 second. I'm going to see if... Yeah, it's a bonus action to drop my form. Okay.
did you want to do that, or are you staying in your spider shape?
It'd be a waste. Yeah, it'd be a waste because I've already used my action, so I'm going to hold it for now.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Okay. Grindor, you need to do a death saving throw.
I rolled a 16.
Okay, so you got a...
That's a 16. That's 1. 2 to go.
Okay. Trust, you need to roll a death saving throw.
Just a D20.
Yeah, just a D20.
That's a save.
Very good. there's a tally here of green is good and red is bad, and as soon as whichever one gets to 3 first, you either stabilise or die. Corral.
Oh, okay, so I just want to kill the stupid mage. So, by the attack, I'm going to have disadvantage, right?
Not disadvantage, just straight roll.
Okay. So I'm going to attack him with my bow.
Yep.
That hits?
It does, yep.
Is that a roll for damage?
Roll damage. Oh. Okay. This guy goes.
Wait a second. Can I use action surge to attack again?
Yeah. You can use action surge. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna use it because I want.
You want him dead.
Okay.
Dead.
Roll to hit. Roll to hit.
Come on.
Go. Good. Yo.
Oh yeah. Now your damage.
Oh, roll high. Roll high.
Yes.
Oh.
Come on. Yes.
All right, you put him down.
Oh.
Okay.
That's good for trust. This is for the creator. You son of a bitch.
Right then. If that's, are we out of combat at that point?
Yeah, we're out of combat.
Okay. I immediately drop my form.
Yep.
And I'm going to pump Cure Wounds into Grydor.
Okay.
And I'm going to, at the same time, use my bonus action to cast a healing word on Trust.
Okay. All right. So you both become conscious with some hit points back. We don't really need to roll them. Don't worry about that because we're out of combat.
Okay.
Effectively, Sir Isin is still battling, but seeing the Berserker and the Bandit King fall, most of the commoners are all rushing off anyway. They were sort of just poor peasants and farmers conscripted into helping build, but a couple of these thugs all sort of slink off as best they can. But so you regain consciousness and find that you have the Bandit King. I think he is. It's possible to bring him in alive if you want to stabilise him. Otherwise he's, but not the Berserker. He's far gone.
I getting up there. I cast Spare of the Dying on the
Bandit King.
On the Bandit King.
Okay.
To stabilise him.
Okay.
I use the last of my Spire form to crawl down, and then I drop it, and I loot the Berserker if he has anything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So searching through all the gear whatever treasure is amassed here, you find a total of 500 silver pieces, which is effectively 50 gold amongst all the bandits' stuff. You returning back to Isin pays you your 100 gold for assisting, and soon after it's clear from the journals of Sir Isin, to cut a long story short, that he was responsible for the death of the priest, which Nestor doesn't reveal why she had said that she had done it, but she's sort of off the hook, so Isin's very happy about that. And the Church of Ilmater bequeath you all with a magic item that looked like a little brooch in the form of a pair of silver-bound hands which act as a periapt of health, which you all get
Nice.
one. You all get one of those.
Nice.
A periapt of health means you're immune to disease while you're wearing it. And if you already have a disease, you can put it on and it suppresses it, but you don't lose it. But it's basically a immune to disease spell. You'll never catch a cold or get the flu or anything like that.
Fuck you, coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is, as a result of completing a tier 1 adventure, if you choose to, you can go up 1 level.
Excellent. I will level up then.
And with that, that's
Yeah.
that's the conclusion of the adventure. Everyone,
Wow.
well-
that was really fun.
well done.
I like this.
Yeah, that was great.
It was really fun.
I hope for was it Corral? I think it was you that hadn't played before at all. Is that right?
That was
Trust.
Or is that you, Trust? So I hope it wasn't. I hope it was okay and you getting the hang of it.
no, it was great. Yeah, thank you so much for.
Okay, all right. I'm still got our 10-year-old son here listening in on the whole thing. He's sort of hanging off the adventure. So I'm gonna sign out now. So just I'll probably what I'll do is, let's see, if you're doing Adventurers League things and you need to know the code for what it is, so that you put it in your log, so that you can see in the chat I put the thing. That's the adventure you've done, and 4 hours and 1 level, 10 days of downtime that you can then spend doing downtime things or save it up. Because when you get to 4th level, you can spend downtime to automatically jump up to 5th if you want to. It just means you can use these same characters again in other adventures if you want. However, I'll leave all of these characters in my little library here, so that if you do sign up to another one-shot, again, you could use the same characters and level them up to whatever level is appropriate for that one, if you're keen.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay. In that case.
Yeah, I'll be very keen for another one at some point.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good.
Me too.
Hopefully we'll get a full house, and with everyone used to it, if you do another one, we'll also speed along a bit quicker. The getting Discord and all that palaver set up can take a little while.
All right.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to sign off now. So thanks very much.
Great. Thank
Okay.
you very much. That was
Thank
great.
you so much.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun. Oh.
That was good.